friends, my name is Rachel, G and S, middle. Gilbert and Sullivan is my middle name, and my middle name is my last name. And what is your name?
Marisa Green. Hello from Hightstown, New Jersey.
I'm in New Jersey. And we are here on behalf of Forbear Theatre to explore the magic of the Gilbert and Sullivan operas by very pedantically ranking every element of them. And this week we are doing the Soprano arias. And we did it in a rather unusual way. Because we had access to a very lovely place with a piano, we recorded them all.
So we've just come from singing and playing them all through.
Then I may sing and play.
And now we're going to tell you that.
UTOPIA Limited. You'll definitely be able to notice that my voice gets better as I go because I wasn't warmed up. So it's quite interesting. It'll be an interesting examination of Rachel Middle's voice. And it's not in any way just an audition for every GNS show. It's definitely not that.
Well,
Hire me!
I don't know whether I
pay me to do GNS. Please, somebody.
Well, I made just about the same number of mistakes at the beginning, at the end, so I can't even blame it on that. So that works too.
And the thing is, Marisa, I gave her a really big job to do because some of them she'd never played, and she does. And Marisa does like 1,000 things, so she didn't really have time to practice them. But I think she did an incredible job. So
watch me sight read.
It's brilliant. So the parameters that we used were we each marked them out of 70, and then we added our marks together, and we actually we got one 2-way tie and one 3-way tie, and it was actually really easy to solve those. So there was no kind of, oh, I think this one should go above. There was no arguing about it. Like, it was completely, we agreed about the ties. Some of the placements I think you're gonna be surprised about, but I've got it on a piece of paper today. I'm not using my computer. Back to basics, she says, talking into a phone. 20 points for music, as per usual. 10 points for lyrics, and that's mostly kind of the poetry of the lyrics, because things like comedy and character we discuss in other categories. Comic potential. The reason I didn't say comedy is because I think a lot of these songs are not obviously funny, but there's actually loads of funny things you can do with them, which hopefully you were able to see from my videos. You will see that I'm sometimes using a book, so some of them I don't know as well as others. Obviously the ones I have totally off book, I'm able to be a bit freer and funnier. Hire me. Emotional depth, that's out of 10. And that's just like how not shallow a song is, and like how much you can really be genuine with it, I guess. Dramatic impact. That one kind of speaks for itself. And then after we filmed them, we each gave a mark out of 10 for enjoyment. And there were some surprises for me in enjoyment. With that in mind, let's get started. And coming in at number 26, we have from RUDDIGORE, In Bygone Days.
In bygone days I had thy love, thou hadst my heart, but fatal human vows above our lives did part. By the old love thou hadst for me, by the fond heart that beat for thee, by joys that never know can be, grant thou my prayer.
I mean, it's lovely. It's just very short, and it's just kind of there. It's fine.
It's short.
I don't hate it.
I mean, I only gave it a 12 for music, you gave it a 14.
Oh,
so you like it a bit more musically than me. I just find it very simple. It's the kind of thing that I feel like I could probably have written. And I'm not a composer, you know. Like, to me it's not advanced musically.
No, I don't think it is. It gets the job done. It's lovely.
It's perfectly
like I said, it's fine. That's why everything else ranked higher.
It's just the fact that the
it's also
instruments move with the singer in a way that I find a bit... It's got so much weight put on it, but the fact that Rose is mainly a comic character who you don't necessarily like emotionally connect with very deeply, and I find that I never feel anything when Rose sings this at this part of the show. Like, I've seen Ruddigore, obviously, many times. I've never played Rose. Maybe I'd feel differently if I played Rose.
I do wonder if part of it is that lovely high note at the end, which is soft and like very slow and very controlled, and
It's
maybe
hard to sing, though.
and maybe I'm just entranced by the fact that there are people on this earth that can do that, and I find that delightful.
We both gave it 5 for lyrics. It's fine. We both gave it 2 for comic potential. This is one of those ones that there's nothing you can get out of it comically. Like,
Well, and what I was saying earlier is my low comedy scores, I actually differentiated between like 3s and 4s, which are just basically kind of, it's not that funny, whereas the 2s are, please, dear God, don't try and make it funny because that would be horrible.
exactly. It's because like
So,
sometimes
this is not funny.
Sometimes even when something's dark, you can still kind of feel Gilbert's wit on top of it. And there are some that are really sad that I've given 7s and 8s to in comedy. So it's you can have the best of both worlds.
But
so it is fair to include this category. Yeah. Then for emotional depth, I gave it a 6 and you gave it a 7. I just don't feel that Rose has much emotional depth. I mean, again, I've not played Rose. I don't know.
Well, and another thing is, I think my emotional depth scores tend to take into account slightly more also the effect on either other people or the general feeling rather than just the character herself. So
because Robin's reaction,
there are people there, and this is affecting them in a real way. Also, Rachel is drinking birch beer, so we are fully American here.
I've never had that. I've had root beer, but not birch beer. I don't really want to spend too much time talking about this one because none of us think it's pretty good. You gave it a 7 for dramatic impact. I only gave it a 4. I just find it very slow.
I think it's because of that note.
But like,
a lot
does
of
that really stop the show? Is that like a showstopper?
I think I'm overly moved by that high note. I really like it.
Then enjoyment, I gave it a 3. You gave it a 4. It's not, and I hate the fact like this is the only thing that Rose does in Act 2.
That's true.
Oh God, Rose is just like, this is the reason that Rose is an annoying character. I love her as a character, but then she just vanishes, and it sucks. Moving on to number 25, we have from the Sorcerer, "Oh Happy Young Heart."
My kindly friends, I thank you for this greeting, and as you wish me every earthly joy, I trust your wishes may have quick fulfillment. Oh, happy young heart, comes a young lord a-wooing, with joy in his eyes and pride in his breast. Make much of thy prize, for he is the best that ever came a-sewing, Yet we must part, young heart, yet we must part, yet we must part, yet we must part, young heart, yet we must part. Oh, merry young heart, bright
because this is one that I do like quite enjoy. I gave it a 6 for enjoyment, and I think it's, you know, it's good music. I gave it a 12 for music. You gave it a 14.
Okay.
It's just a bit nothing. Like, it could be about anything. You know.
It's, you know what it is? It's Four Wandering One Light.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing, but then 2 shows later, they do it just a little bit, actually a lot better. But it's the same function, it's the same kind of thing. I think it's the same overall vibe. So,
yeah.
There you go. It's the first draft of Four Wandering One.
Because I found that when I was singing it just now, I was just kind of being a generic, like, I'm happy. There's not really many levels in this song.
No.
And I think it kind of ostensibly has a narrative, but I don't find that very easy to act as an actor. You know, it doesn't come naturally to me.
Musically, I'd say it's very satisfying. Again, it's not earth-shattering, but it does what it does very nicely.
The cadenzas fun, like the bit at the end. Yeah, it's good. Emotional depth, I gave it a 6. You gave it a 4. You know, I think she is obviously very happy, and happy is an emotion. Dramatic impact, I did give that a 6. You gave it a 5 because I do appreciate that.
It's impressive.
I appreciate that, and it is like a thing that I think, ooh, yes, that is a good thing that I like.
Now, this is interesting.
Not much.
That is impressive in the same way that I find that note at the end of In Bygone Days really impressive. They're very different things, but I think I would have the same reaction to, like, oh, wow, that's really impressive that you can do that well. I find both of those things very...
Yeah, I mean, I think when I sang this one, I wasn't terribly warmed up. But I think I had a good crack at that high note. This doesn't help us understand who Aline is. She's not telling us anything really about herself, just that she is a person who believes in love. Great. I guess that's important, but this song, out of context, is just, oh, I'm happy because I'm in love.
It's a pop song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Number 24 is, from Trial by Jury, the season Vernal.
Season vernal, time may cast a shade, sunshine eve eternal makes the roses fade. Time may do his duty, let the thief alone. Winter has a beauty that is all his own, that is all his own. Days are sun and shade. I am no unhappy maid. Then we stop. Oh no, wait, carry on. Happy be thy life of me. I am no unhappy maid. I don't know if that was right, but it was something like that.
It's short, it's simple, it doesn't tell you anything about her except that she's not unhappy.
Yeah, and I got a certain amount of enjoyment from it. Like, the bit that I like actually is the fairest days are sun and shade. I like putting little
Okay. All right.
And I wasn't sure where it ended actually, so in the video, because I forgot it had an ending bit, I was like, oh, we're carrying on, no, yeah, whatever. I mean, I gave it a 6 for comic potential, you only gave it a 3. So I do see comic potential in this song because she's just so, she's so manipulative. I'm sad, but it's okay to be sad, and just like being, she's clearly being very manipulative to all the jury. And
the
I
3
find
may
that
have
funny.
been a little bit harsh, but we are trying very hard to spread our scores out, because
and
otherwise
do well
everything would have
scores.
gotten 7s and 8s. So sorry about that, Angelina, but you know.
You gave her a higher dramatic impact than me. You gave that a 7.
I think maybe it's because, like, this is the first time you see her, and we've just had all of these various other characters, all these various lower voice characters doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, like, she's here. I mean, stuff is about to change real fast when she shows up.
Yeah, that's true. It is a real turning point, and I think that her entrance is met with the same amount of excitement and tension as the judge's entrance. Like with that whole Angelina.
Yeah.
And I do think that when she comes on, it's similar vibes to Climbing Over Rocky Mountain. It's like a really great ladies' entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And when I marked the Bridesmaids chorus and Trial by Jury, I think they didn't come like bottom. They only they came like sixth from bottom or something. And I like the Bridesmaids chorus. I think they're very charming. And yeah, enjoyment, I gave a 5, you gave a 4. Emotional depth, I just gave a 4 because I find her a shallow character. You gave it a 6 though. Yeah. And then lyrics, I think I was a bit stingy on lyrics. I mean, it wouldn't have, even if I given a point more on lyrics, it wouldn't have changed the ranking. But I gave it a 5 and you gave it a 7.
I like it.
I do actually think it's quite
got
nice.
some high quality words.
So moving on to number 23 is Sorry Her Lot from HMS Pinafore.
Sorry her lot, who loves too well, heavy the heart that hopes but vainly, sad are the sighs that own a spell, uttered by eyes that speak too plainly. Sorry her lot, who loves too well, heavy the heart that hopes but vainly. Sad is the hour when sets the sun, dark is the night for us, for daughters, when to the ark a wearied one flies on the empty waste of waters. Sad is the hour when sets the sun, dark is the night for us, for daughters. Heavy the sorrow that bows the head, when love is alive and hope is dead, when love is alive and hope is dead.
This shocks me that it's that low. I like it. Okay, it wasn't going to be in my top 3, but this is very strange to me that it's that low, especially because I probably gave it pretty good scores,
You did.
which probably means you hate it.
I gave it a 10 for music.
What? This is very strange to me.
The thing is, I do appreciate that I enjoy, the key changes and the thing, but the thing is, even if I'd given it 4 more points, it wouldn't have beaten anything else.
This is really, really odd to me.
But
What did I give it for music?
You gave it a 16.
Yeah, because it's really good.
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe I'm ignorant.
So it has no, but what it has is I love the major to minor shifts. I think there are a bunch of tunes in here which have that. And
Actually, I do like the sad is the hour when sets the sun. I like how that's not got a decoration on it. Like typically, it doesn't have one. I know
It's
that.
full of kind of nice, crunchy harmonies, but at the same time, everything moves like very intuitively. I love. I'm probably singing this the wrong key, but at the end when they go, when love is alive, 5, 4, 2 to 1, 6, it just opens like a flower, and that was.
I think I was mean.
But like,
I think I was probably too mean. I probably should have given this one away. for music.
It's nice.
But I stand by my other scores.
Okay, fine.
I gave it a 5 for lyrics, because I think the lyrics are quite simplistic. You gave it a 7. What is that to the arc of wearied? What thing is, like, I consider myself to be like quite a clever, like wordy person.
Wait, do you know who the weird one is?
No.
I think it's the dove. You know when Noah had the ark. You know when Noah sent the dove out from the ark and it had to like fly a while before it could find dry land.
Sad as
like,
the hour when sets the sun, dark as the night to us poor daughters. When to the ark a wearied one flies on the empty ways of waters. But what does that mean?
I don't.
In the context. That's the thing, I don't find them understandable. All I get from this is, oh, she's sad and possibly in love, and like bemoaning the fact that women are sad. Which I appreciate as a feminist, you know, whatever. But
Yeah,
I don't find
she's.
You don't learn who Josephine is in this song. You learn who she is in the scene very well. But this song, I mean, I would never cut it. I obviously would never cut it. But you could cut this song and you wouldn't lose anything narratively. We both gave it a 3 for comic potential, because I do appreciate there's actually a few little things. You can be relatively funny in just how depressed she is. And you can like lean into those big jump, bum, da 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 da. You can do like looks and stuff, which is quite good. But then I give it a 7 for emotional depth, and so did you. I gave it a 5 for dramatic impact. You like the dramatic impact because of the top note, don't you?
I do like the top note,
but that top note is hard. That is like the hardest top note in the canon for me.
Yes, and when you do it nicely, it's impressive. Dramatic impact.
And yeah, enjoyment. I gave it a 4. You gave it a 7.
I think it's because of the harmonies. I think I really do.
And that is what I don't notice as a singer. I need to pay more attention to that because I'm not really noticing what you're talking about.
Well, and this is also me being like a music theory nerd.
But that's great. That is good. Moving on to number 22 is When He Is Here from The Sorcerer.
When he is here, I sigh with pleasure. When he is gone, I sigh with grief. My hopeless fear no soul can measure. His love alone can give my aching heart relief. Can give my aching heart relief. When he is gone, I weep for sorrow. When he is kind, I weep for joy. My grief untold knows no tomorrow. My grief untold knows no tomorrow. My woe can find no hope, no solace, no alloy. No hope, no solace, no alloy. When I rejoice, it shows no pleasure. When I am sad, it grieves him not. His solemn voice has tones I treasure. My heart they glad, they solace my unhappy lot. They solace my unhappy lot. When I despond, my woe they chasten. When I take heart, my hope they cheer. With folly fund to him I hasten. With folly fund to him I hasten. From him apart my life is very sad and drear. My life is very sad and drear.
And yet this outranked Sorry Her lot. Crazy.
I find this song way more interesting than Sorry Her Lot.
Oh.
I think that you get a better idea of who she is from the song, and I find it more musically interesting. I mean, I only give it an 11. I just gave it one more point. From him apart, my life is very sad and free. It is painting the words well.
It does, and it's super relatable.
Like, I could have given it more than an 11.
Like,
it
is relatable and funny. It's not...
Yeah, I gave it a 7 for comic potential. You gave it a 6. So I think we both appreciate that this song, despite being really emotional, is also a comic song. So even though this one came low down the list, it's an example of one that does kind of tick all the boxes, but I just find it lyrically a bit simplistic, and it's not very dramatic.
No, it's... Yeah.
You mostly marked it higher than I did.
Oh.
That's the interesting thing.
That is really interesting, because I don't have strong feelings about it. It's nice.
Music, you gave it a 15, so you obviously really like it.
No, I like it.
But your musical scores didn't range as much as mine. I gave things between a 10 and a 20. The lowest mark you gave anything was 13. Lyrics, I gave a 4, you gave a 5. And then similarly for dramatic impact, I gave a 4, you gave a 6. I just don't... It's a really good song, and I've played Constance, and I really enjoyed singing this. But I don't really think when you're going away from the Sorcerer, this is a song that you're like, oh yeah, that song was great.
No. But you might not remember the song, but you hopefully remembered her entrance scene, because this is like a memorable character that you can make really interesting, and in the hands of a good comic actress, it's great, and this is the first time you meet her. So this is how you're gonna remember her.
Yeah.
So,
and I do think this is also important narratively as well. This definitely tells you who Constance is, and that's why to me, it's a similar character of song to Sorry Her Lot, but I just find it so much better than Sorry Her Lot.
The one thing is, compared to Sorry Her Lot, I think it is more relatable. And I wonder if that's because it's simple and it kind of lays things out and it gives you lots of very concrete visuals and we can all instantly empathize with them.
Yeah, because Josephine's so grand.
Right.
And has so much dignity. And you can be a little bit silly with that, but she is upper class, and that is less relatable than somebody who just loves someone and is too shy to let them know, but who's like a teenager and is obviously placing a lot of stakes on her own emotions.
Right.
I just find that funnier and more relatable than a big grand song where someone's sad. Another thing is that in Josephine's aria, even though I don't think it should be played this way, she sounds very defeated. And just overtly, it's a very defeated song. But Constance's song is more excited and hopeful. There's more tension in it. Because it's more like, oh, what's going to happen? Whereas Sorry Her Lot is just like, bum, I'm sad. But Constance, there's tension there, there's hope, there's life, there's brightness in it.
I like them both.
I like them both. Moving on to number 21, we have another one from the Sorcerer. Alexis, doubt me not, my loved one. Ooh.
Alexis, doubt me not, my loved one. See, thine uttered will is sovereign not to me. Or there, of what avail I cast away. It is my darling's will, and I obey. Oh, fearful deed is done, my love is near. I go to meet my own in trembling fear. If o'er a sort of ill should cast a shade, it was my darling's will, and I obeyed, and I
I do really like this one musically. We gave it both a 14. And I do get satisfaction from how beautiful it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is very beautiful and elegant. And I gave it a 5 for enjoyment. I get more enjoyment from that one than Sorry Her Lot.
Wow.
Because I love how the keys change, and I love those 2 little bars where it looks like it's a different note in the next bar, but it's actually like an enharmonic equivalent.
Nicely done.
She's a theory teacher. Do I get an A?
Yes.
Yes. Lyrics. I only gave it a 4. I don't find the lyrics particularly sophisticated.
It's incredibly straightforward.
I actually don't think that Sullivan set this one very well. Like, in terms of lyric placement.
We will come back to that concept later in this list.
I find that what he wrote is beautiful, but I do think he gets better progressively at fitting lyrics to music. And then he kind of goes a bit mad in the later ones. But yeah, I think it's musically lovely.
It's another one of those short ones. We have a bunch of songs on this list that are short little moments from either larger numbers or Act 1 finales or something like that.
But then one of them did really well.
Yes, unsurprisingly. But in many cases, it is, I would say, harder for the short ones to get the really high scores, just especially in music, because there's just not enough time for them to develop or to go somewhere or to whatever. You've got some nice bits, but in the longer ones, you have more nice bits.
That is correct. We only gave it a 2 for comic potential. This is one of those ones that...
Please don't try to make it funny.
It's just because it's so weighty and important.
Yeah.
And the only reason I gave it a 2 is because I appreciate that the situation that she's in some ways, is kind of humorous. But this moment itself... So that's why I didn't give it like a 0 or 1, because I do appreciate she is in a relatively humorous and bizarre situation, and just the topsy-turviness of it. Yeah.
Well, and some of the things that make something funny is that someone can be deadly serious in a situation which has a bunch of fundamentally absurd things in it, but she, in this moment, needs to be deadly serious.
Yes. And again, like, I know it seems unfair that these darker moments are being marked down for not being funny, but there are songs where you get the absolute best of both worlds. And they are just better because of it, I think. Emotional depth, like, this did really well. I gave this a 10.
Did I give it a 9?
You gave it a 9, yeah.
Okay.
And I guess, because I find this moment is so... I mean, especially, again, I keep harping on about this, but when you've been in relationships like hers and Alexis's, it's something that you really resonate with. That idea that your own thoughts and dreams actually don't matter, and that theirs are the most important. And a little bit like Love is a Plaintive Song later, actually. But having been through that, and, you know, I've always felt like I'm this independent person, and like, ain't no man gonna hold me down. I've always thought that, and yet I still found myself in a situation where I felt like that my thoughts and feelings were invalid because I was being told, oh, you're not behaving how I want you to behave. And you kind of get a bit brainwashed, and you kind of just go with it.
We'll do a whole follow-up on Alexis as the greatest villain unhung.
Oh my god. But yeah, so for me, this really resonates emotionally, and it's got a tremendous amount of weight. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Dramatic impact, I only gave a 5 because, I mean, maybe that was unfair. But again, this is one of those ones that it was still 5 marks away from the one above it. So moving it up, even if I gave it a 10 for dramatic impact, it wouldn't change the score. You gave it an 8. Yeah, so even if I given it low high, I wouldn't have changed its place.
Yeah.
But because I actually think I was wrong, I think I probably would give it more like a 7 because I do think it's got tension.
Well,
it's got lots of tension.
It has the tension because also I think there's the tension between what's going on stage with with what's going on in the action, and also the tension with what the audience is feeling, because this is probably like one of the moments where the audience just wants to scream, get out now.
Yes, stop.
And you can't, and she's being so elegant, and this is happening, and you just want to scream. So I would find that, I find that very dramatic.
I also appreciate my own genius in having a sip of water in that little section.
Okay.
So, number 20, we have given to For Riches and Rank from IOLANTHE.
For riches and rank I do not long, their pleasures are false and vain. I give up the love of a lordly throng for the love of a simple swain. But now that simple swain is untrue, my sorrowful heart I turn to you. A heart that's aching, quaking, breaking, as sorrowful hearts are wont to do. The riches and rank that you befall are the only baits you use. So the richest and rankiest of you all my sorrowful heart will choose. As none are so noble, none so rich, that this couple of lords I'll find a niche. In my heart that's aching, quaking, breaking, for one of you two, and I don't care which. To you I give my heart so rich, I do not care. To you I yield, it is my doom. I'm not aware I'm yours for life if you choose. It's your affair. I'll be a countess, shall I not? I do not care.
This is one, it's not really an aria. And it suffers because of that. It's short, it's a little bit of an afterthought, it's not terribly deep.
But this is the best you can get from IOLANTHE.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, I almost included Good Morrow, Good Lover, but I mean, it would have just come last, so what's the point, you know? Riches and Rank, I gave it a 14, you gave it a 13 for music. I think it's lovely.
Second half's cute.
Yeah, I prefer the second half to the first half. It's a bit more. It's good. Lyrics, we both gave it a 6. Client potential, yeah, I gave it a 6, you gave it a 5. I think that you can be kind of quite cutting with Phyllis at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's quite fun.
the situation is inherently funny. Like,
yeah, it is both funny and she's heartbroken. You know, it is
like, okay.
It's one of those bits where Gilbert, he gives you the best of both worlds, but sadly this just doesn't have as much weight. Emotional depth, I gave it an 8, you gave it a 6. Because I think there's loads you can do with it. There's loads you can do with like pretending to be okay and then like breaking, and you can choose your moments. I think as an actor, I find it quite stimulating.
Okay.
But you don't find it particularly amazing.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But we can't give everything a 10.
We can't.
No.
Well, we could, but it wouldn't.
No, that would be very
precise.
boring.
And then dramatic impact, we both gave this a 6.
I mean, compared to the things that come before and after it, like.
And that is mostly because of the second section.
Yes.
So
Oh, absolutely.
My Heart So Rich. Yeah, it's apart from that, it's not particularly dramatic at all.
This tune does actually get some points for having an iota of plot advancement.
Yes.
So I'll give her some
this is
points
good
for that. It's not just an I feel this.
Yeah.
It's
maybe we should have had an importance to that.
So I mean, this
you know,
I would say that is one of this song's best redeeming qualities is that it does advance the plot, and so I appreciate that it's there.
You know what? I have a really powerful, strong memory of being in my very first GNS festival, and I'd never seen IOLANTHE. I mean, I knew it from a video, and I saw the youth production, but it was like the young artist production, which doesn't exist anymore. Okay. But it was all people who were like between 18 and 30.
Okay.
And they were doing IOLANTHE. And I remember the person playing Phyllis, I remember being completely captivated when she sang, "My heart that's aching, quaking, breaking." And I remember that to my 19-year-old ears, that was like the most spine-tingling thing ever. And so, and that was the moment I thought, I must play Phyllis for that moment. So it is, I a lot of this song does play a really big part in my heart. So, moving on to number 19, and this, I am really surprised this came so low, and I actually tried to move it up, but I couldn't move it above the next one because all of these are really good. This is what you have to understand, and I'm very surprised this one came this low. Minerva.
What?
I know!
Wait! Whose fault was that? This is odd. Like, that shocks me. 19? And now I'm thinking about all of the songs that we haven't talked about yet, and some of those got higher than Minerva?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the comic potential.
Oh,
It's too
rats.
These are comic operas. And Gilbert's best stuff involves finding light in darkness and finding the humour in tragedy and the tragedy in comedy. Gilbert's good at that. This one is very grand. It's wonderful and it's beautiful, but I don't
And
think
it
it
packs
is
a
as
really,
good.
and this is one of the short ones. I mean, it's not as short as some of the other things, but it's not that long, and it's still really good.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love this number.
Okay.
But it's just, I think that its place is fair. Because we're marking them because these are comic operas.
Oh my god.
Just hold that fact steadily before you.
Okay.
3 large sausage rolls. Comic operas.
Okay, so...
We both gave it an 18 for music.
Because it's lovely. And I can't remember whether this was one of the overtures that Sullivan wrote or organized himself or not, but this is a very, very short overture, and it consists solely of a little bit of fighting's our trade to wake you up and get you to sit down, and then we literally just play this song straight through. So he decided that of all the things, what you need in this overture is little more than to hear this tune again.
It is gorgeous, and that is why I gave it an 18 out of 20 for music.
Okay, so fine. All right.
I love
so
it.
It's holding up there. What
But look, because you're going, what? But you've marked it lower than I did.
What did I give it?
In some of these categories. Well, in lyrics, I gave it a 7 and you gave it a 9. The thing is, I appreciate that the lyrics are beautiful, but I want to draw a distinction between
advance the plot,
how understandable and accessible, like I built upon a rock as compared to this one. Whereas this one, I think it is lovely and the poetry's nice, but I can't give it more than a 7 just because we haven't met this person yet, and we don't necessarily know what her exact words are referring to. She's just saying, I mean, for me, I take the meaning of she is kind of almost praying to this symbol of feminism, saying, help these girls as you have helped me. But because she isn't defeated yet, I don't think it has quite the same effect, these lyrics. I don't think the lyrics are quite as good.
What you learn about her is that she is up here intellectually.
No, absolutely.
And,
like, you do learn stuff about her, and I appreciate that.
Okay, it's not the best, but I do like it a lot, and I think it's a lovely kind of. There are lots of ways that you can introduce a character. Also, I think it's interesting because literally this is the title character of the show. We haven't met her yet. It's been a whole act and a whole intermission and all of that, and now we know that this is going to be a big deal. And
I mean, we both I gave her a 10 and you gave her a 9 for dramatic impact.
Oh, certainly. I mean,
because that initial Minerva is one of the most dramatic moments in the canon.
No pressure. Right.
And I think, and emotional depth, I gave it a 7, you gave it an 8. The only reason I gave it a 7 is because we don't really know quite who she is yet, and we don't really understand her struggles yet. Like, so I don't think it's quite as emotionally deep as some of the others. But I like it. But yeah, comic potential.
No.
You know, and it's just, these are comic operas, and it's important to have dark moments. But I mean, later on we have songs that are tremendously dark and also funny, like within a bar of each other, a measure of each other. And that is possible. And here, this is just all very grand and dramatic, and it's kind of one note.
But at least,
you know?
then in that way, it's good that it's short, because
Yes.
5 minutes of this would be a lot.
Oh yeah,
But if it's one note, it stays fairly compact.
but this is an extremely strong list, full of numbers that I absolutely adore.
Right.
And I do love this number, but I mean, it's no I Built Upon a Rock.
Spoiler alert. That's
You
coming
know?
later.
Number 18 we have given to Kind Sir, You Cannot Have the Heart from the Gondoliers.
Oh, you love this one.
Kind sir, you cannot have the heart, our lives to part from those to whom an hour ago we were united. Before our flowing hopes you step, I'll look at them and pause before you deal this blow uninvited. You men can never understand that heart and hand cannot be separated when we go ironing. You see you've only women's eyes to idolize, and only women's hearts for men to set you burning. Oh, me, you men will never understand that women's heart is one with woman's hand. Some kind of charm you seem to find in womankind, some sort of unexplained delight, unless you're jesting. But what attracts you, I confess, I cannot guess. To me, a woman's face is quite uninteresting. If from my sister I were torn, it could be borne. I should no doubt be horrified, but I could bear it. But Marco's quite another thing. He is my king, he has my heart, and none beside shall ever share it. Oh, me, you men can never understand that women's heart is one with woman's hand.
know, like, honestly, I love that. The thing is, I didn't think I liked this one that much. It actually scored relatively low for me, but I gave it a 9 for enjoyment when we just did it. I was really surprised. I found myself able to just naturally act it, like I didn't have to think about what I was doing or, you know, where to direct certain things. I've never sung that song before. I mean, I've sung it like in lessons to practice, but like I've never sung that in a concert in performance. And to be fair, I have just directed it, so maybe I'd absorbed
it's on the brain.
Yeah. So I've just watched the wonderful Christina do it. And Joanna, because they both play Giulietta for me.
Oh, nice.
Christina and Joanna. They do lovely sopranos that play Giulietta for me.
Yeah, I like it. It's, I think I liked it better than I thought I would, but in the middle of everything else that's kind of going on around it, especially because it's the meaning, the emotion is fairly straightforward. Like, please don't take them away. That would make me sad.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
I mean, I didn't give it a high mark for emotional depth. I only gave it a 6 and you gave it a 7 because I don't think you really emotionally connect with these characters that much. I mean, it's the gondoliers.
Right.
So.
And, like, yes, we'd all feel the same way.
I mean,
but this is
you marked this higher than I did in almost every category.
Oh, crazy.
You gave it a 6 for dramatic impact. I only gave it a 5. I don't find this particularly dramatic at all. It's just, I do love it musically though. Like, I mean, I gave it a 15, but I love the soupiness. He has my heart and none beside shall ever share.
It is soupy.
Oh, me. I had a blast singing it.
It's a bit soupy.
I found it so fun to really kind of sing the words as if I was saying them. And I think Sullivan has set that really excellently in a way that I'd never, until this very day, appreciated. The thing is, about things like Sorry Her Lot and Minerva, because it's so slow, you often kind of lose what the sentence is because you've forgotten what the start of it was. But this one, it ticks along.
Okay.
And
here's another thing. Now here's another hot take that's just occurred to me in my head. This is probably going to get me kicked off of this video. So the lines in this song, the lines of text are long. It's a lot of syllables compared to like Sorry Her Lot Who Loves Too Well, or Sorry Her Lot Who Loves Too Well, Heavy the Heart That Hopes a Family. Pretty short. Kind sir, you cannot have the heart our lives to part, to those whom half an hour ago we were united. That's a lot of syllables. It's like Taylor Swift. You know how Taylor Swift makes like really, really long lines of many multi-syllable words, and we put the stress patterns in different places, and you've got these little mini groups of threes.
What's an example? While she's finding that, I'll just say as well that I love how conversational it is. It sounds like a real human talking about something.
Okay. I should not be left to my own devices. They come with prices and vices. I end up in crisis. Tale as old as time. I wake up screaming from dreaming. One day I'll watch as you're leaving because you got tired of my scheming for the last time.
Yeah,
it's like, it reminds me a lot of that.
No, I can
Put
see
that in your video description. There we go. So I think that's one of the things I do
Comparing
like
to
about
Taylor
this.
Swift.
I know, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think we both really like that song. And it measured up, I gave it 6, you gave it 7. But that's, quite potential. We both gave it 6s. I actually think I marked that a bit too lowly. Like, I think I could have given that higher. Because I do find it funny, but also I am aware that it's kind of very genderized.
I mean, anybody being sad can be made funny.
And the thing is, when I am performing that song, I am very much making fun of how stupid it is. And that's the only way I can play it, because if anyone who genuinely believes there's a true difference between the genders in the respect that she's talking about, I really hope that Gilbert meant that kind of sarcastically. If he didn't, that's depressing. Anyway, number 17, and I am astounded that this came as high as it did, is Somebody There Chanced to Be from RUDDIGORE.
If somebody there chanced to be, who loved me in a manner true, my heart would point him out to me, and I would point him out to you. But here it says of those who point, their manners must be out of joint. You may not point, you must not point. It's manners out of joint to point. Oh, had I the love of such as he, some quiet spot he'd take me to, then he could whisper it to me, and I could whisper it to you. But whispering I've somewhere met is contrary to etiquette. Where can it be? Now let me see. Yes, yes, it's contrary to etiquette. If any well-bred youth I knew, polite and gentle, neat and trim, then I would hint as much to you, and you could hint as much to him. But here it says in plainest print, it's most unladylike to hint. You may not hint, you must not hint. It says you mustn't hint in print. Oh, and if I loved him through and through, true love and not a passing whim, then I could speak of it to you, and you could speak of it to him. But here I find it doesn't do to speak until you're spoken to. Where can it be? Now let me see. Yes, yes. Don't speak until you're spoken to.
Explain.
It's kind of a great song. It's not top 3, but okay. First of all, comic potential through the roof.
I gave it an 8, you gave it a 10.
I think it's hilarious because, first of all,
Yeah.
this whole entire setup with Rose is all about these hypotheticals. She does it with Robin, she does it here. That's funny because she's like, so let's talk about my friend. Or if this were to happen, not that this ever would, but hypothetically, if there was this person that I might even like, and I'll do this, but oh no, we can't do that. I think that's hilarious.
Think about how funny she is in the scene with Dick Dauntless. Think about just how hysterical that scene is. Is this song as funny as that scene?
No, but this is the first time we meet her and we are warming up to it. You
Yeah.
are also a little bit more limited with sheer comic hilarity by the fact that it's just her, so she hasn't got anyone to play
And
off with.
I love this, and I
And
also
we've got
gave
some,
it.
but-
We both gave it an 8 for lyrics because I enjoy that it says you mustn't hint in print. I do love. I love this song. I do like this song.
She's setting up like her fundamental character hangout,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. And
I just find this song triggering because the last time I sang it was for an audition that I didn't get.
I'm sorry. Okay, well,
I don't know, but also I find this song, as I've talked about before, I find this song really hard to learn. I find the lyrics don't stay in my head very well. Like I had to, even though I know the song, I had to read it just to make sure I got it right.
the other thing is Rose is one of the straight up funniest top to bottom sopranos
Yeah.
in the whole.
But I don't think this song is a good example of just how hilarious she is. It is funny. I give it an 8 out of 10 for comedy. I just don't think
she
it's
starts
like,
here and like goes
Yeah,
from
I
it.
don't think this is like rolling around on the floor laughing out loud funny as her scenes with Robin and Dick Dauntless are.
Yeah.
Like, they're brilliant. I
Oh,
mean,
I'm so excited.
God.
Um,
Yeah. We're doing RUDDIGORE in the summer.
It's gonna be so fun.
And I'm playing Mad Margaret. And the thing is, I'm so happy I'm playing Mad Margaret, but I'm also sad I'm not playing Rose. But I wish I could just split myself in two and play both of them.
Unfortunately,
I've not played Rose yet, and I want to read those. But the thing is, the reason I want to play Rose is for the scenes. I don't particularly care for any of the music she has, apart from I Know a Youth and that. But I'm not a big fan of Rose's music in general. I only gave this an 11 for music. It's just like
It's kind of
It's like a fairground. You know, like...
No, that is not what I thought. But okay, fine. But it's similar in that kind of Viennese waltzy way to like "Oh Happy Young Heart."
Yeah, and I just find that a bit basic, dare I say. The R before the chorus. That is fun. That is the best bit of the song.
I am surprised at some of the things it's outranked, but I like it. I think this is a good place for it to live.
It's something that's hard in my voice is, but if I loved him through and through, some quiet spot he'd take me to. It's a nastily placed thing.
Okay.
And I do not find that intuitive or easy to sing. But it came 17 out of 26. It's not done terribly.
Okay.
I'm surprised it did better than Minerva.
Me too.
I blame Marisa. To me, I would have put it lower than Minerva. We are moving on to number 16, and I wish this was higher.
Am I going to scream?
No.
Oh.
Oh, please scream. I'm not going to scream. Only you can answer that, Marisa. Number 16 is Take Care of Him from the Grand Duke.
Take care of him, he's much too good to live. With him you must be very gentle. Poor fellow, he's so highly sensitive and oh so sentimental. Be sure you never let him sit up late in chilly open air conversing. Oh, darling, he's extremely delicate and wants a deal of nursing. And oh, remember this, when he is cross with pain, a flower and a kiss, a simple flower, a tender kiss, will bring him round again. His moods you must assiduously watch when he succumbs to sorrow tragic. Some heartbreak or a bit of butterscotch will work on him like magic to contradict a character so rich. Interesting love was simple blindness. Is one of those exalted natures which will only yield to kindness. And oh, the bygone bliss, and oh, the present pain, that flower and that kiss, that simple flower, that tender kiss, I ne'er shall give again.
Now, I have recently discovered that this song is actually amazing. I thought this song was like the worst song in the Grand Duke, and you know what? It might be musically, but it's actually brilliant. I love it.
Would you like to tell us why?
Okay. I love how soupy it is. It's a little bit like Kind So You Cannot Have the Heart.
It's so soupy.
Interesting love with simple blindness. It's a gorgeous
That's
thing.
the nicest bit of it. The part you just sang is very satisfying, but it is overall, it's very soupy. Also,
I gave it a 17 for music. You only gave it a 13.
Not
I
MIKADO.
think it is beautiful.
I don't hate it.
It's just, I love how it begins. And it's so in tune with her emotions. So like, take care of him, you must you got to live it, so you must be very gentle.
I'll give you this.
Oh, fellow. It's got sighs written into it.
It's very
beautiful.
her.
You know it died with a note. It's like, when I am late, I'm late. That sigh that's written in. It's like, this reminds me of that. I think this is stunning.
I will give you that. And it is, I think it's important that her songs don't sound like Julia's songs and vice versa. And I think they've done I think they did a very good job of making those characters very, very different. So I'll give you that.
Lyrics, we both gave it a 7. I think we're both agreed that
Hard bake.
I love that.
Hard
And
bake.
I think it really tells you who she is, because it tells you that she is a person who was just completely obsessed and who has memorized all these things that this person wants, and actually a part of her is being very genuine here.
Yeah.
Like, she really wants Julia to look after him.
I
So
mean,
she thinks
and
she's
she was like literally let me tell you specifically that this is what he wants. He doesn't want chocolate. He wants butterscotch.
And the thing is,
kinda
yes,
sweet.
she is so wet and she is such a pushover. Like, but that is also really funny. But she's also like a little clinger, like a clinger on, like, you know what she is, because I'm playing Lisa right now, and she's that overprotective girlfriend meme.
She's Lavender Brown from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Totally that.
And she is just this kind of really like high energy, like, he has to love me. He has to love me. If he falls out of love with me, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just that kind of energy with her. So she's just a very high stakes person. Like, everything she sings and says is so high stakes, and that is hilarious. And I love
it.
her.
It must be exhausting to be her.
You gave her an 8 for comic potential. I only gave her a 7, but actually,
I mean, it is
she's so
fundamentally
funny.
absurd. You just want to. It's like there's different kinds of funny. There's kind of rolling around, laugh out funny, and then there's just like, oh my god,
It's just
Lisa,
funny how ridiculous she is.
Please chill.
Oh god. And then 9 for emotional depth. You gave an 8. I think there are moments where you can make it hilarious, and moments where you realise, oh god, actually this is real.
I mean, no, she's deadly serious, and
Yeah.
that is kind of funny, just how serious she is in this absurd situation.
And I plan for everybody to be laughing. I'm going to get at least 5 or 6 laughs in this song. And when I finish a song, everyone's going to be crying.
Okay.
That is my aim.
Is one of them going to involve the hard bake and the butterscotch?
Yes! But like, that is both funny and tragic. Because it's just like such,
so specific.
But also, this song is not a particularly sad song either. There's like hope in there and nostalgia.
Well, no, it's not,
because you know how like
it's not the Dice cast.
because like when you
We
get
haven't that one yet.
when you get like, I have exes, and even exes that I've broken up with in a way that was really sad, I will still sometimes get a memory and just think, oh, you get like little nostalgic like moments, and to me, a lot of that is this. It's like she's also remembering just how happy she was, and is also happy that she had that time with him.
Oh God, this is depressing.
But it's just, but also it's just, I find this so charming, so funny. Dramatic impact, you gave it a 3, I gave it a 6. I think my 6 was kind of generous, but it's definitely not below a 5, like, for me.
I'm just
Because
kind of thinking
it's soupy and glorious. And
I'm just thinking of everything that's come before and after.
Oh no,
and,
that's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
In terms
But
of like
anyway,
show-stopping moments in the Grand Duke, this ain't one of them.
yeah, sure. Look at it. That's that one. Moving on to number 15. This is another one from the Grand Duke. Oh, pity me, my comrades true.
According to professional position, according to professional position, sing hurrah, 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 hurrah. this gentle child, to me so fondly dear. Oh, sister love, so true and deep, that many an eye unused to weep have all begun, that I reluctant tear. Each sympathetic heart will bruise, then you have heard the frightful news, or will it not, that I must know import? Our love for him is all in all, a cursed fate, that it should fall unto my lot to break my darling's heart.
I gave it a 17, you gave it a 16.
Okay.
I think it's really exciting. I love the key changes. I love how you can actually cut this and it still works. Like, I mean, you can cut little chunks of it out.
You can cut a little bit of it. You can cut the whole thing.
Because on the
or- yeah.
recording, on the standard recording, well, actually, there's one recording which just cut it entirely, and then on another recording they miss out the "Oh Sister Love" bit, and
then we did the whole thing.
but yeah, we did the whole thing when we did it in the summer. And then I didn't realise actually that they also did it in 2012. They did the same in the G&S Opera Company one. They did it then, and I didn't think they had. I honestly thought that ours was going to be the first one, but no, that they actually did do it then. So I find it really dramatic. It's really funny. The thing is, I didn't give it much emotional depth. I only gave it a 4. You gave it an 8 because I guess you are appreciating that she's affecting other people.
Mm-hmm. The emotional temperature in that room is fairly high.
That is correct. But for me, I think that she's being kind of fake, and it's mostly a comic song. And we both gave it an 8 for comedy. Again, I don't really think it's really laugh out loud funny, but it is very funny still. Just because she's so awful, and it's kind of like watching a car crash.
Well, histrionics in general can be quite funny.
Yeah.
So I think in general, you're going to score the Julia songs lower than I do on emotional depth.
Yes.
Because there's her emotions, and then there's the ambient, collective emotions.
Yeah. But lyrics we didn't mark it particularly highly. That's probably where this one fell down.
Also, think about it.
I gave it a 6, gave it a 5.
Well, also think about the way this music is set. Like, even with all the diction in the world, this is not a declaiming text song.
Yeah,
it's
and also,
a lot of ahs and big swoops.
It's not really furthering the narrative or giving you much information. All it's telling you is that Julia is very dramatic. And the words that she's saying aren't terribly important or meaningful, but the poetry is relatively nice, so I did give it a 6.
Sure.
But I appreciate that the lyrics aren't terribly accessible.
He didn't set it in a way to make the lyrics accessible.
No, it's more just about the dramaticness.
It's a vehicle for a lot of big ahs.
And speaking of dramatic, we both gave it 8s. So this is like one of those songs that, it falls down on emotional depth for me and slightly on lyrics, but I do think it is a really good number. And we are getting into numbers now that really do tick every box.
Right. And don't forget, there's more Grand Duke to come.
There is so much more Grand Duke to come.
So
there are so many Grand Duke songs.
This could be the emotional dramatic high point of several of the other operas.
Yeah.
But just because the bar for high drama and all of this in Grand Duke is so high, it's not those other songs you're about to hear.
Well, because they're actors, and with actors, you get drama.
Oh my God.
So, number 14, we have given to O Lady Fair of Lineage High.
Oh.
A lady fair of Lineage High was loved by ape in the days gone by. The maid was radiant as the sun, the ape was a most unsightly one, the ape was a most unsightly one. So it would not do, his scheme fell through, for the maid when his love took form and shape, expressed such terror at his monstrous error, that he stammered an apology and made his escape. cocked his tail. He grew moustachios and he took his tub, and he paid a guinea to a toilet club. He paid a guinea to a toilet club, but it would not do. The scheme fell through, for the maid was beauty's fairest queen, with golden tresses like a real princess's, while the ape, despite his razor keen, was the apiest ape that ever was seen. He bought white ties and he bought dress suits. He crammed his feet into bright tight boots. And to start in life on a brand new plan, he christened himself Darwinian Man. He christened himself Darwinian Man. But it would not do. The scheme fell through. For the maiden fair whom the monkey craved was a radiant being with a brain for saying, what a Darwinian Man, though well behaved. At best is only a monkey shaved. Was a radiant being with a brain for saying, what a Darwinian Man, though well behaved. At best is only a monkey shaved.
The views expressed in this song are not the views of Rachel Middle. So this one's from Princess Ida. Now, I actually sang this in a masterclass in Buxton last year, but it was like the morning after I'd done the Gondoliers, and I was so like starved of sleep and just rest in general. And I was just going to this room thinking, oh God, I have to perform this one. And actually, it went okay. It went fine, but I definitely sang it better just now because I actually had a voice. But that was a bit crazy. I think this number is really funny. It's really bright. It's a lovely sing, actually. It's one of those ones that just kind of like trips off my voice. It's lovely.
This was the one that I had in my head when we got back from, we had just sung 26 tunes. This was the one in my head.
Interesting.
Right? And
okay.
so it was not only interesting it's around the middle of the list, but it was also about in the middle of the chunk of time, because it's about the middle of the canon.
I only gave it a 14 for music, you gave it a 17. So you actually like this musically more than I do.
Delightful.
It is delightful. And we both gave it a 9 for lyrics.
Yes.
I both just love the way these trip off the tongue, and it's very clever. So, you know, I don't appreciate the sexism, but I do appreciate that at the time, I think a lot of women would have had a lot of catharsis from this. And nowadays we don't really need that kind of catharsis, but back then I imagine it would have been really fun to like put men down. Nowadays I think that's bad to do, but I can appreciate that this of its time would have been very funny for women to hear.
I also think that it's got a lot of very concrete imagery. You know,
yes.
you can picture all of these things because it's more heavy on, it doesn't advance the plot necessarily, but it tells a story. So you can see these characters and you can see these things happening, and it's really not as much about anybody's feelings. They're basically just giving you visuals.
And it works very well out of context as well.
Yes, it's a pop song.
You gave it a 10 for comic potential. I gave it an 8. I think that's because nowadays I don't think the humour has quite survived in the way it has intended, but I do appreciate that it is very funny. But yeah, you gave it a 10. Then emotional depth, I gave it a 3, you gave it a 5. I don't really think it's particularly emotional. It's only emotional in that it's kind of a sad situation. It's like a sad world we live in.
Well, because it's not about any of the characters or any of the things in the show. It's a play within a play. So you're not connected. None of the things that happen in that song are connected to anything that happens outside of that song.
Dramatic impact, I gave it a 7, you gave it a 5. So like, it's not one of these songs that makes you go and sit back in your seat like, wow, that's amazing. But you know, it's like it's a lark.
It's
a
showpiece.
Good one.
You know what?
It
fulfills a very similar function to the magnet and the churn.
Yes, it does.
You know, which is also great in its own way. But all the things that you guys said about magnet and the churn, including lots of great words, but it's there. It's a self-contained. Let me tell you a story.
Moving on to number 13, we have The Sun Whose Rays from the MIKADO.
The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty, he scorns to tell a story. He don't exclaim, I blush for shame, so kindly indulgent, but fierce and bold in fiery gold, he glories all effulgent. I mean to rule the earth as here the sky. We really know our worth, the sun and I mean to rule the earth as here the sky. We really know our worth, the sun and I. Observe his flame, that pleasant dame, the moon's celestial highness. There's not a trace upon her face of diffidence or shyness. She brought us light that through the night mankind may all acclaim her. And truth to tell, she lights up well, so I for one don't blame her. Ah, pray make no mistake, we are not shy, we are very wide awake, the moon and I. Ah, pray make no mistake, we are not shy, we are very wide awake, the moon and I.
I like this one a lot. I think it's okay here. We are what? Halfway point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I didn't realize how much I liked this and how much I enjoyed singing it until last week when I sang it in a concert. I thought, wow, my voice actually fits this song now. It didn't, 5 years ago. And now I'm like, oh, wait, I can sing this now. And I also I gave it a 17 for music. You gave it a 19.
Okay.
I love it musically.
One of the things that it does so beautifully is, correct me if I'm wrong, but the way that these shows were written was that Gilbert would write the words, basically, here's a poem, go set it to music. What you could have done. The sun whose rays are all ablaze in ever-living glory does not deny his majesty, he scorns to tell a story.
Isn't that amazing?
But he didn't go there. He went somewhere completely different. He was able to read that stuff on the page and completely subverts the phrase structure and the stress pattern. And I think that is really creative and it's really clever. And I think it makes the song fairly original and unique. And that is one of the reasons, in addition to being a really, really lovely melody, why it goes one of my highest on music.
And
despite being simple.
And lyrically, I gave it a 9, you gave it an 8. So, when I was at drama school, I sang the hot MIKADO version of The Sun Whose Rays in like this kind of fake audition. And I remember not doing very well. And they said to me that I needed to think more about the words. And I said to them, well, the words aren't terribly meaningful. It's just beautiful language. It's just about the poetry. Thinking I knew everything. But I was an idiot because these words are actually tremendously meaningful. It's about feeling powerful. And the first verse, it's about feeling powerful. The second verse is saying, don't underestimate me.
It's great.
We're very wide awake. Like you might think I'm just kind of glowing there brightly in the corner looking pretty, but no. I see what's happening. And it gives me chills. I love that. And I had tremendous fun performing it the other week, and just know it's a good one. Comment potential, I gave it a 5, you gave it a 6. Yeah, I think it's kind of quite charming. And truth to tell, she likes it well, so I for one don't blame it. I mean, it's lovely.
It's
cute.
Lightly self-effacing.
Yeah.
Not roll on the floor, but yeah.
And emotional depth, I gave it an 8, you gave it a 4. So this is one where we kind of disagreed on the emotional depth.
Oh, okay. Because she's not completely vapid, but I don't know. I don't know how much her saying, hey, we are very wide awake, affects how she does the rest of the show and the rest of her life.
But that's,
you know what I mean?
That's kind of what's cool about it, because to me, she's this very affected character who seems quite vapid and shallow and isn't very real, and that's where a lot of the humour comes from. But then, just for a moment, she talks directly to you and says, I'm actually quite clever. I actually understand what's going on. You know? And there's something really special and like, ooh. And I hadn't really appreciated that until really recently. Honestly, until a year ago. Like, this song went way up in my estimation recently. I was like, well, actually, this song is way more powerful and emotional than I considered it. And it's also, and I gave it a 7 for dramatic impact, you gave it a 5, because I think that it definitely makes you kind of sit up and listen. Like, just because of the musical.
Sure. And it is, I mean, this show is paced really well. So it's nice when it comes as a contrast to what's come before it. We kind of have this moment and then things start getting crazy. So
you know what I gave it for enjoyment? An 8, actually.
Okay.
You gave it a 6. Yeah. I could have given it higher, because honestly, I loved singing that just now. I thought it was great. But yeah, Sunny's Rays. I think amazing number. And I know that it's a very popular number, but I also kind of think in the community it is a bit underrated. So
That's
sing this song.
That's a good point. Also, I would say of all the tunes in the canon, as things that would work really beautifully as instrumental solos, like if you would like to excerpt G&S tunes as a prelude in church, or like a recital piece, play this on an oboe or a soprano
amazing,
sax, and it would be gorgeous.
Absolutely. Number 12, we are moving on to I Cannot Tell What This Love May Be from Patience.
I cannot tell what this love may be that cometh to all but not to me. It cannot be kind as they'd imply, or why do these ladies sigh? It cannot be joy and rapture, or why do these gentle ladies weep? It cannot be blissful as is said, oh why are their eyes so wondrous red? For everywhere through love I say, not to me. I cannot tell what this love may be. For I am blind and I am gay, while this is sighing night and day. For I am blind and I am gay. Think of the God twixt them and me. Think of the God twixt them and me. And misery. If love is a fawn, they show no wit, who foolishly hug and foster it. If love is a weed, how simple they who gather it day by day. If love is a nettle that makes you smart, then why do you wear it next your heart? And if it be none of these, say I, oh, why do you sit and sob and sigh? Though everywhere through love I say, to me, I cannot tell what this love may be. For I am blind and I am gay, while they sit sighing night and day. For I am blind and I am gay. Think of the God twixt them and me. Think of the God twixt them and me. Hardest vowel sounds, misery. If any other better sopranos want to tell me how to sing that, you're very welcome.
This was such a fun little trip down memory lane. We sit down, and I'm like, you're singing Patience, and I'm sitting here at a piano, and it's just like when we first met in 2018.
I mean, we both think really highly of this one. We marked it, and there's only one thing where we differed, really. I gave it a 15 for music, you gave it a 17, so you...
I really like it.
I mean, also, as a sing, I think it's incredible, and I love the that I get so much pleasure from getting that dead on right, you know.
Well, speaking of getting it dead on right, I will share a slightly embarrassing fun fact with the world now. In my previous life, I actually played one GNS soprano role. I was 15, and it was Patience. Obviously, those videos have been burned, but I love Patience. Yeah. I feel a tremendous affection for her, and I don't know if it's because I actually got to do this on stage, but if you had said to me, okay, you're only ever going to play one GNS soprano, who would it be? It would be Patience by a mile. I love her. She's not one that I like particularly am like, I must play her again. No, but like
I really did like it.
I feel a tremendous amount of kinship with her. I feel like we interpret a lot of things in the world very similarly.
Yeah. 6 for lyrics, but we both gave her a 6. And yeah, I don't think the lyrics are particularly groundbreaking. That they're quite simple. If lovers are four, they show no wit, too foolishly hug and foster rich. If lovers are weed, how simple they hit together day by day. You know, it's nice, it's good poetry, but then they're not. She's not really telling you any more in the second verse that she doesn't say in the first verse. Like I don't think the lyrics tell that much of a story that shows her depth. I mean, the song is about her not having much depth.
Well, and Patience is not a poetry fan.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, that kind of stuff wouldn't speak to her.
But comic potential 9.
Hilarious.
I gave her a 9. You gave her a 7 because it's just that I cannot tell what this love may be, for I am blind. It's just that little the changes of gear in it are so much fun. There's so much you can do with tempo and dynamics just to make it comic and just to make moments pop, and just using your face and your body to be funny. So yeah, I think that it's a really funny song. Emotional depth, here's where we disagree. I gave it a 4, you gave it a 7.
Oh. Well, she's not the deepest person, but at the same time but at the same time, I think I did because you understand her. She's such a contrast to we've just heard 5 minutes of 20 Lovesick Maidens.
That is true, actually. It's quite a nice contrast because they're so dramatic and she's like, hello everyone!
And it's such a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
And like,
that's a really nice way of putting it.
Yeah. I think I was like, good job getting that across.
And then our dramatic impact 7s we gave her, you know,
it's nice.
I don't think it's no great, like really powerful moment, but it's like it's like woo, yeah, that's a good one. And then we both gave her 9s for enjoyment. I love this one. Love. Number 11, we have given to one from the same opera. Love is a Plaintive Song.
Love is a plaintive song, sung by a suffering maid, telling a tale of wrong, telling of hope betrayed. True to his changing note, sorry when he is sad, blind to his every mote, merry when he is glad, merry when he is glad. Love that no wrong can cure, love that is always new, that is the love that's pure, that is the love that's true. Love that no wrong can cure, love that is always new, that is the love that's pure, that is the love that's true. Rendering good for ill, smiling at every frown, yielding your own self-will, laughing your teardrops down, never a selfish whim, trouble or pain to stir, everything for him, nothing at all for her, nothing at all for
And this one, yeah, I feel a bit bad because I gave this a 13 for music.
Ooh, now
Because I actually like the other one better than this.
I like the other one better than this, but this is so
You
sophisticated.
give it a 17. Yeah.
It goes
Okay.
in all these interesting directions.
no, you're
So first
right,
of all,
actually, yeah.
I seem to have a soft spot for the ones that go from like parallel minor to parallel major and go back and forth like Sorry Her Lot. I like that relationship.
Yeah.
I think that this thing is full of, you know, a few nice crunchy diminished chords, a secondary dominant here and there. You know, speaking of chord symbols, maybe we
I'm
should...
saying as if I know what that is.
Well, and let me tell you, talking of when we did this together 5 years ago, in some ways I wish it wasn't quite so sophisticated because we had this piano in that church hall.
Yeah.
And the piano
was a semitone flat.
so out of tune. And so in order to practice singing this song at the right pitch, Rachel was like, can we play it up a half step? Now, that's fairly easy to crank, like, I have a song to sing up a half step at sight. This one, not so much. I said, and this is when I said, okay, self, you got to get this right. This is the first time I've ever worked with this company.
Because it's just in C, isn't it?
No, it's in A minor to A major.
A minor. So I was close
You-
because it's just the enharmonic.
So basically everything had to go up a half step. So I said, give me 5 minutes, and we put in all the chord symbols, which we can show you. And then I was like, here we go. And then I was like, okay, I must have passed some kind of test. So it's very crunchy.
It was very impressive. That was like the first day I met you.
Exactly. That was how this all started.
And I didn't know, like, I had no idea, like, how adept you were on a piano, but I was just like, oh, can we go up a half step?
Yep.
And she was like, oh no!
Well, and I was like, yes, we can, whatever you like.
Common potential, we both give it 3. It's like, I do appreciate that there are kind of moments where you can be a bit bright and absurd and ironic, but apart from that, I don't think it's...
And the other thing is, remember, this song is surrounded by hilarious numbers.
Yeah, so this should be a moment.
It's a little bit of a palate cleanser. It's okay to, like, take a breath.
That is okay. And we both gave it an 8 for emotional depth, which I think is self-explanatory.
Okay.
It's a little bit like Aline in that she is being told that... And I don't know if this is particularly about being a woman, but she is told that true love is unselfish, and she believes that. And it's tragic when you think that this could have been her life, when she is told, oh no, in order to be like a proper grown-up, that is what you have to go through. And it's the thing is, it might come across as really topsy-turvy and unrealistic, but I was in a relationship for a while where I wasn't happy, but I thought, oh, well, I guess this is just what relationships are. And I kind of resigned myself to it. And isn't that sad?
Very sad.
And I think a lot of people, I mean, maybe you're watching this video and you're in a relationship and you're not, like, happy. It's like, no, it should be a happy thing. And I think that hadn't really occurred to me. And no, but you should be happy. The relationship should be where both parties, like, enrich the other person's life and you're joyful. And, like, of course you'll have bad times and you'll argue and, you know, get through painful things, but it should be a nice thing. It should be a positive thing. I'm just teaching everyone how to live their lives in these GNS videos.
I love it, yeah.
Dramatic impact, I gave it 7, you gave it a 6. Yeah, it's like, it's one of these ones that, yes, it's a big emotional moment, but it's not as big or emotional as some we haven't talked about
Right,
yet. Like,
and this is what I think we have. Some of these are one person alone on stage, and some of them are, you know, one person alone, one person not alone on stage commanding all the attention, but there's other people there.
I've
And
never
this is
seen
one of those-
anyone do it like how I did it, where Lady Jane and Bunthorne remain on stage. I've never seen anyone do it
I
like
haven't
that.
either.
But I felt like it was important for patients to have people to speak to.
Well, because I think
And
it's
it makes it more poignant,
It's
I think.
really hard, I think,
Yeah.
if you don't, for it to not feel very generic. Like, yes, you're talking to the audience, but you haven't got a whole ton of material to work with if it's just you being like, hello, audience, may I tell you something? So...
And then enjoyment, you gave it an 8, I gave it a 7.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just seen something out of the corner of my eye that I need to do. I'm going to leave it rolling.
Okay.
Because,
Oh!
So I don't drink anymore, but I remember when I was at university, this Sheridan's coffee, oh my God.
It's good stuff.
I absolutely I loved how it comes in the cream and the coffee.
Yes, and you notice that it's basically empty. I mean, I should toss it.
I love coffee flavored things, and this was just like so creamy and coffee-y.
I haven't tossed it.
It's probably actually not even vegan, is it? It's probably got actual cream.
No,
in
it's
it.
it's literal cream. I haven't tossed it
Oh my
because the bottle is just so cool to look at.
Does the cream actually have alcohol in it?
That's a good. You know what I should do with that? I should make coffee and put the cream in said coffee.
Oh my god! Well, it's like a Bailey's coffee, but I just love this, and I noticed it. So yeah. Right. So number 10, we have as the die is cast.
Oh.
The die is cast, my hopes have perished. Farewell our past, too bright to last, yet fondly cherished. My hope has fled, my life is dead. Its doom is spoken. My day is night, my wrong is right in all inside, in all inside. Ah me, my heart is broken. My heart is broken.
This is a good one.
I adore this.
Yeah.
I actually prefer Take Care of Him to this, but
Oh, I don't. I really like this.
well, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, this is short.
Her day is night.
But I gave it a 19 for music, you gave it a 17. We both wrote this musically really highly. It's super dramatic. I gave it a 9, you gave it a 7. Emotional depth, I gave it a 9, you gave it an 8. Like, this is one of the most vulnerable, like, emotionally exposing moments in the canon.
Unlike Love is a Plaintive Song, she has to do it with the entire cast sitting there. And I mean, okay, with lighting, or you can pretend, you don't have to have them all like staring at her, but yeah, they're all there, and she has to have this moment with everybody else there. And even if you take it with your lighting or whatever as let's have a little focus inside her head for a minute, what's just happened to make her feel that way just happened in front of a whole bunch of other people.
It's just so...
Oh God!
It's
like making me really sad.
Yeah, it's like wrenching. It's like it is like having your guts ripped out.
She had to see that happen, and she also had to like hold it together in front of everybody.
This
does.
is so exposing.
Oh, this is so
it's
sad.
Like it's I can't really I mean, I guess Jack Point at the end of Yeomen, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But like, it's difficult to think of moments like this when a character is truly like humiliated and heartbroken like this. And but the thing is, it's also not funny. Like, it's also, because it's so dramatic, there's kind of humour in that.
You know about her.
My fled, my life is dead, has doomed me. This, like, you can actually make that funny. Like, you can actually make bits of that song funny and then draw it back and make it real.
Think about it.
You can do that.
Knowing what we know about her, because we already know her pretty well by this point in the show, you wouldn't expect anything less in terms of hysteria from her.
Yeah.
So this is how she'd react. She would say something about how her life is dead.
Yeah.
And her day is night and all of this. And that is kind of funny because you're like, yeah, she's not going to take this well. But at the same time, would you?
Yeah. And oh god, I really feel for her here. And I've only ever played Julia, so I have to like not feel for her. But like, I mean, I know in my most recent one, Christina again. Christina's playing Lisa, and I was just watching her like,
oh yeah.
That was properly spine tingling. That moment where she finished singing Dyer's Cast and looked at Ludwig and looked at me and went away. That was like,
yeah,
that's one of those moments where like that was proper. Like, I am so happy to be an actor.
Well,
and
so I'm sitting there like watching all of this from the pit, and there were definitely a few moments in that show, as there are with all shows, when I know that if I let myself think about it, I would get emotional. And I can't get emotional because I've got to conduct the show. So there are definitely some moments, especially in the Grand Duke, where I kind of earmarked self. You need to go into full business mode. All you got to think about is like 3, 4, like direct traffic right here.
Yeah.
Because if you think, then you'll choke up, and then we're going to have an issue. So.
And then lyrics, we gave it a 6 and a 7, respectively. 6, 7. I don't think it's particularly like incredible poetry, but yeah, it's good. It's Gilbert good.
Yeah.
And that is all we have to say about the Die His Cast.
All right.
Number 9.5. The reason I have given this a 9.5 is because this is not actually in this list. It's not an aria. We shouldn't count it as such. But I'm including it because I just want to show that this character does actually have stuff to sing and lovely little chunks.
Got it.
But I can't. It's not an aria.
This is the honorable mention.
This is Zara's Act 1 finale material.
When Rachel sounds the drum of war and Europe tremble, the armies of the conqueror in sad rank assembled. 'Tis then his warriors' eyes and sabre gleam for our protection. He represents a military skill in all his proud perfection. A complicated gentleman, allow me to present, of all the arts and faculties that has embodiment. He's a great arithmetician who can demonstrate with ease that 2 and 2 are 3 or 5 or anything you please. An eminent logician who can make it clear to you that black is white when looked at from the proper point of view. A marvelous philologist who'll undertake to show that yes, there's better novel and a neater form of no. What these may be utopians all, perhaps you'll hardly guess. They're types of England's physical and moral cleanliness. This is a Lord High Chamberlain of purity the gauge. He'll cleanse our court of moral stain and purify our stage. This county council on acclaim Great Britain's latest toy. Of anything you like to name, his talents he'll employ. Of streets and squares he'll purify within your city walls, and keep meanwhile a modest eye on wicked music halls. Our company promoted this with special education, which teaches what contango means and also backwardation. To speculators he supplies a grand financial leaven. Time was when 2 accompanied, but now it must be 7. And lastly I present Great Britain's proudest boast, who from the blows of foreign foes protects her seagirt coast. And if you ask him in respectful tone, he'll teach you how you may protect your own.
She's so good. I love Zara. So the reason I just wanted to talk about this is because the Act 1 finale, at least the first half of it, is really Zara's big moment in Utopia Limited, but it is all about introducing other people, so it's not really about her. But you do kind of get to see what kind of person she is during it. You get to see how excited she is and how...
And what she's excited about, like why she's excited about this person.
Exactly,
she's telling us about what this person will do because clearly this is something that she thinks will be interesting.
And the thing is, like, as Zara, so I'm playing Princess Zara in 3 days' time, and as somebody who is playing Zara, I really feel like the purpose of my role is not to be an individual and a character in myself. My purpose in that show is to be a vehicle with which to disseminate information and with which to introduce people. I am a vehicle, and that is fine.
So are you like a narrator?
Yes, kind of. And I think that...
Are you a narrator with an agenda?
No. Like, literally, she doesn't really have... And, I mean, she loves England. Oh my God, she loves England. You know, but the thing is, I don't... But what I try and get across to people, especially when I directed the Gondoliers, is that often it's not about you, it's about the piece. And Zara's one of these parts that she is very much serving the piece. She is not serving herself. So as an actor, you just have to have fun with it and just not really think too deeply about who she is. Because if you do that, you're going to have a bad time. Just think about, how can I best make everyone else around me look really good? And also, it's just so fun. And I honestly, I gave this a 9 out of 10 for enjoyment.
Cool.
Because I mean, you can just see in my face how much I'm enjoying it. I'll just quickly go through the scores because, you know, it's not a real one, but I'm just saying how well this would have done, you know, if we had included it. 10 for lyrics. I love these lyrics. But I mean, oh my God, that bit where she introduces her Bailey bar. Those lyrics are just, oh, they're incredible. I mean, you just saw it. You gave it an 8. Comic potential, 8, 9. You thought it was funnier than I did.
I think it was funny.
Yeah.
Well, and also, you get the benefit of about 6 other characters, so you get to have a relationship with these people that come on. So you have tremendous potential for 6 different types of laughs, perhaps.
Then I gave it an 8 for dramatic impact. You gave it a 7. I'm just thinking of that. That is just, it's kind of so dramatic. It's great.
Maybe I'll change my mind after Saturday night.
Well, there we go. And yeah, but it's not very emotional. That's where it might know. But yeah, I just wanted to include that one just to let you know, Princess Zara does have some really good stuff, even if she has no technical aria. And we can't count this as an aria because it's like 5 separate pieces, but she's good.
All right.
Number 9, we have given to Leonard, My Loved One, from the Yeomen of the Guard.
Leonard, my loved one, come to me. They bear me hence away. But though they take me far from thee, my heart is thine for aye. My bruised heart, my broken heart, is thine, my own for aye. Is thine, my own, is thine for aye.
Okay, and it's that short, and it's still in the top 10
Exactly.
because
The
it's
fact
that
that it
good.
came number 9 and it's just like a little short bit,
I mean,
it's very good. 17 for music, 18 for music.
the money note. I mean, the stuff
the
other than the money note is
songs.
good too, but oh my God,
I
that's
actually
a good one.
found, I don't know if I was tired by the time I got to this one, but I don't actually think that I sang this one as well as I wanted to in my head. It was one that actually it didn't come out easily, I found. Which is funny, because 'Tis Done a Bride, I think, comes out quite easily for me, but this one, I did struggle, actually. I found I was kind of forcing it a bit.
Well,
I did, but
also think about this. This is not a standalone aria.
of
You
course.
would have had time to be singing, building, like,
Yeah.
to vocally build yourself into it. Also, we would have had emotional build, and you would have kind of built on that. I think coming into this one cold, like you did, is the equivalent of, like, let's just sprint before we warm up. So,
My bruised heart, my broken heart. Musically, emotionally, dramatically.
so good.
I mean, okay, I gave it a 7 for lyrics, you gave it a 6. You gave this a 2 for comic potential. I gave this a 5 because I appreciate that actually the situation she's in is kind of so tragic, but the audience know he's actually alive and he's standing right behind her. So I think there are ways in which, even though you can totally get into her and it doesn't at all like taint how beautiful the emotional moment is, I do think you can still appreciate that it's like you know, it's kind of quite
Okay,
funny.
maybe like it's not laugh out loud funny. I think, I don't know. I I think one of the things I love about Yeomen is that, yes, there's hilarious moments in it, but also the stakes, when the stakes are high, they are higher than in any of the other shows. Partially it's because this is the only one where there is literal, real death on the line.
Emotional depth and dramatic impact, tens, just
across the board.
10, 10, 10, 10.
So I think one of the things that I like about Yeomen is because there is all of this funny stuff, but then there is some stuff that is really, really not funny, and it's unsettling. Like, there are some, I want to walk out after that one, not like, yay, let's go to the bar, but like, please don't talk to me for 20 minutes because I'm not okay. The two GNS operas that I want to walk out mad or gutted or please leave me alone for 20 minutes are this one and The Sorcerer.
Utopia Limited.
We should walk out of that one mad? Okay.
I don't know if you'll walk out of the one we're going to do mad, but I think that thinking of like the absolute pinnacle of doing it, the ending of this should be so dark.
I will take that under advisement. Oh, I'm so curious.
So we're moving on to number 8, and number 8 is Poor Wandering One from the Pirates of Penzance. Oh, sorry, I did that. Or maybe I don't.
For shame, for shame, for shame, poor wandering one, though thou hast surely strayed, take heart of grace, thy steps to retrace, poor wandering one, poor wandering one, if such poor love is mine, can help thee find trophies of mine, why take it, it is thine. Take heart, fates will shine, take any heart, take mine. Take heart, fates will shine, take any heart, take mine. Poor wandering one, though thou hast surely strayed, take heart of grace, thy steps retrace, poor wandering one. Fates will shine, take take mine, take take mine.
Let's just try as an experiment to
Yes.
see if, can I try another ending?
Yes.
Can we just go from the,
Yeah.
yeah, wait for this. It might not work.
top A flat.
I love this number. It's
I
just
do too.
I gave this a 10 for enjoyment. You gave it a 9. I mean, it gets really good marks across the. I mean, I gave it a 5 for lyrics, and you gave it a 6. But apart from that, it does pretty well. 16 for music, 18 for music.
The material's actually pretty simple.
It's like Verdi, isn't it?
Yes,
though? It's
but
got
it just
bits on the Traviata in it.
It just does what it does so well. It's,
And
also
as a singer,
comfort food. Total comfort food.
As a singer, I do find that take heart of grace, thy sister to race. That it doesn't. It's that vowel sound. Well, it's not a vowel; it's a consonant. It's not easy, but I think I've probably kind of got the hang of it now.
Well,
it's not as easy as some of the others.
No, and as proof positive of that, I'll throw my sister under the bus here a little bit. The first time she ever heard that, she was convinced that the text went, "Poor wandering one, though thou art surely strange, take heart of grace, 5 steps retrace." So,
nice.
Anyway, that's how we sing it in the Green households.
Comic potential, I give it a 10. I'm just like, this is so funny to me. I love just doing it a different way every time and thinking of different things you can do on each beat and just like impulses you can do and just kind of giving something an impulse or brightening your face can just make it hilarious.
I mean, just go bonkers. Yeah.
It's just, this one is just bonkers. It really is. And there's not really much we can say beyond that. It is just completely bonkers.
Because if we had a category for does this advance the narrative, it wouldn't.
Probably not. But that's why a lot of these songs don't, so I didn't really think it was fair to include that category. Emotional depth, I only gave it a 6 for that, and so did you. It's just, she does. This is emotional because she's saying, look, I know you've been through hard times, but I'm here with you now. You're not going to be alone anymore. There's something very touching about that. But because you've only just met her, and she's just like, I'm in love with you.
You only know one thing about her, and that is that she's bonkers.
Yeah, so I don't think it's particularly deep, but I do recognise that it does have emotional value. Dramatic impact, we both gave it a 9, because I mean, it's just such a show-stopping moment.
Yeah, literally. I mean, honestly,
I'd rather... a huge cheer, doesn't it?
This, we can talk about encores another time, but if you wanted to encore something that isn't traditionally encored, this might be the one.
Yeah.
You know, do 3 different cadenzas, and we could just listen
to
those all day.
Which I did, I tried to do.
Exactly, right? I mean, that's how I would encore that, is just start at the end and have people do...
I don't think I ever would do a top A flat, because I feel it's kind of gratuitous.
It's insane.
And it's also, like, I haven't really got it sounding pleasant yet, but, you know, it was possible, and I actually managed it. I've only really got 1 in me a day.
Oh, God, seriously.
That's weird. It's like, I can only really do 1 a day, and I think it took me... I'll have to listen to it again to remember, but I think it took me a couple of seconds to actually get the note in tune. I did get there though. I got there eventually. You know, it was an experiment. And we want to try experiments like in Thespis. There are no arias from Thespis in this list. And the reason is because I am trying to include as many things as I possibly can in the mezzo arias category.
Oh.
And Little Maid of Arcady I've put there. It's not high, you know, it's a mezzo aria. Same as Dear Friends Take Pity on My Lot.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I've classed that as a mezzo aria, so you won't be hearing about those.
So Constance moves from soprano land in Act 1 to mezzo land in Act 2.
But you know, there are some baritones that sing patter songs. Like Giuseppe has a patter song, even though he's the lyric baritone.
Right. And most patter songs are sung by baritones.
Exactly. So, moving on to number 7, and we have to get ready for, like, fire and thunder to, like, pour down upon us from up high.
Wait, are we gonna fight each other, or are these people gonna, is the world gonna fight us?
The world's gonna fight us.
Oh my God. Okay.
Number 7 we have given to I Built Upon a Rock from Princess Ida.
My trusted stay was born. drew a sword of steel, but went to home and off. The battle's breath, both fire and death, my sword was but a laugh. I lit a beacon fire, died on a stormy day, of frost and rime in winter time, my fire hath died away, Coward still, that beacon on a kneel, false fire indeed, to fail me in my need, to fail me in my need.
And yeah, the thing is, I absolutely love this number, but it suffers
Who
from
doesn't?
what the
It's
Minerva
great.
song suffers with. You know, yes, I love it. Okay, look, I'm going to go through the scores. We both gave it an 18 out of 20 for music. I don't think it quite earns a 20 or a
No,
19, but
some-
I gave it an 8.
It's very good.
Lyrics, I gave it a 10. Marisa gave it an 8. The
And
lyrics are
I-
stunning and so vulnerable and emotionally resonant.
And
10
I-
out of 10 for emotion.
And I actually, okay, I gave it an 8.
You gave
but,
it a 9, actually.
Oh, I gave it a 9?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't give any lyrics a 10. After we went through this list, I realized I hadn't given any 10s for lyrics. Not because I didn't want to, just because I was like, okay, what is the 10? If
Yeah.
I had to go back and say, if something is a 10 for lyrics, it very well could be this one.
I mean,
so that's
I am
a
sup-
high 9.
The thing is, if I was making this list, I think this would have ended up 5th or 4th place. But because you scored some of the... So it's actually Marisa's fault it's this low.
Ah, I see.
But the thing is, I think that even number 4, people would disagree with. So I'm also apologising for how low it is.
Oh, I'm so excited. Fight us in the comments. We can't wait.
But I think if it had just been me making this list, I think it would have ended up a little bit higher. It would have ended up like 4.
Okay.
But because I wouldn't have given it... Because I gave it a 10 for lyrics, I gave it a 10 for emotional depth, and I gave it an 8 for dramatic impact, you gave it a 9, and actually I could have given it a 9. That is valid.
To fail me in my need. Ugh.
No, that's true.
Ah.
But the thing is, this is still, it's 2 points away from the one above it. I would personally move it, but let's just...
Oh, let's see what comes
but
next.
but maybe me and Marisa will decide later that actually it should have just got 10s for those, and that would take it probably above the 2. So I think this probably should be in 4th or 5th place. But anyway, the comic potential.
No.
The thing is, I gave it a 3, you gave it a 2. But because I do appreciate that the imagery is a bit bonkers. And there's something in that that's just like ever so slightly funny.
Oh, see, I like it. It's so specific.
But is it fun to sing? Did I have fun singing it? Was it... I mean, I gave it a 10 for enjoyment.
Oh, okay, clear you did. Yeah.
Like, yes, I did. I got a lot of satisfaction out of this, but it wasn't exactly fun.
It's satisfying.
But you gave it an 8. And the thing is, I would say that, yes, when this song comes on, do I enjoy it? Yes. But only if it's a really amazing person. This is one of those ones that, if you're watching like an amateur production of Princess Ida, and you've got, a fairly good soprano, but who's not like amazing singing this role, would you still like this number?
I mean,
But then again, if you had some...
I've been spoiled, let me tell you.
But then again, if you were watching Pirates of Penzance and a soprano sings Pour One Do One, and she doesn't have like the best voice in the world, you'd still have a great time, Whereas this, it demands an excellent singer.
There is nowhere to hide.
I love it. I cannot overstate how much I love this number, but I do think that when people tell me, and I've had a number of people tell me that this automatically wins.
No, it doesn't.
I honestly don't think it does. I think it should beat the 3 above it, personally.
Okay.
But apart
all
from
right.
that, so we will talk about that.
All right, well, what are the 3 above it?
Okay. Number 6, we have given to How Would I Play This Part from the Grand Duke.
how would I please this part? The Grand Duke's bride, all rancor in my heart, I'd duly hide. I'd derive it from my recollection, and value this a mock affection, well calculated to defy detection. That's how I'd play this part, the Grand Duke's bride. This many a winsome while I'd witch and woo, this gay and girlish guile I'd frenzy you. I'd madden you with my caressing, like turtle havers love confessing, that it was mock no mortal would be guessing. This so much winsome while I'd witch and woo. Did any other maid with you succeed? I'd pinch the forward jade, I would indeed. This jealous frenzy agitated, which would of course be simulated. I'd make a wish she'd never been created. I'd make a wish she'd never been created. I'd make a wish she'd never been created. Did any other maid with you succeed? And should there come to be some summers hence, with all the childish glee of innocence, fair babes aglow with beauty Vernal, my heart will bound with joy, Diana. This sweet display of sympathy maternal, then that would also be a mere pretense. My histrionic art, so you deride, that's how I play that part, so Grand Duke's bride.
Ah, I love
And this is one that you marked this actually quite a lot higher than I did.
I really like it. Okay.
This actually maybe came like my number 10. But this came number 6 with both of us. So we both gave it 16s for music, first of all.
Okay.
I love the music. I love all the shifts.
Yes.
Like the key changes.
So many
it's fun.
shifts.
And it's a lovely sing as well. And the little end bit, the duet that we didn't do, that's a riot as well.
Okay.
Anyway. Lyrics, I gave it a 7, you gave it a 9. I actually think I could have given it higher. That's one where I think, oh, actually you are right. The lyrics are really good. Because that is satisfying. I'm madden you with my caressing.
There's
like
some really
her first love
good
confessing.
words in
that it was
there.
mock, no mortal would be guessing. It's sophisticated, and the poetry of that
It's
is
very sophisticated.
incredible. Comic potential 9, 10.
Yeah.
The reason I gave it a 9 rather than 10 is because I don't think it's as funny as some of the other ones, and I saved my
saved your
10s for Poor Wandering One and one other one.
Okay.
Which we haven't talked about yet. But you gave it a 10. And again, emotional depth. I gave it a 4. You gave it an 8. Because I don't see this as... You don't feel for her at this point. You know, you don't resonate with her emotionally. The song has emotions in it, but it's fake emotion.
But I think that's the thing, is this is really your first introduction to this character who has... They're contrived, but she can do every emotion in the book, and she is throwing them at you.
Yeah.
And if you are this is you experiencing this person for the first time, and you were like, oh my god, I don't even know what to feel.
Yeah.
Because she has thrown everything but the kitchen sink at me. I think
I get that.
Yeah.
I do get that. But you gave it a 9 for dramatic impact. I gave it a 7 because I don't feel like this is truly a show-stopping number at all.
Oh,
When you think about the one in the second half, really is show-stopping.
There's more stuff coming, but I think, I don't know,
this is a bit of a... Because I know when I did it in the summer, this was probably one of my least favourite moments of the show.
Oh, I liked it so much.
I was really relieved to get this song over and done with. It's probably... I mean, Julia is an incredible part, but this is probably my least favourite thing that Julia does.
That's how I play that part. Ba, ba, ba. Oh my god.
And I forgot, to be fair, I forgot to do that when you played it. That's how I play that part. Bum, bum, the grand George. That's dramatic. I'll give you that.
Okay.
It is what
Are we quite right on where these numbers 5, 6, and 7 fall? I don't know, but this is really good.
Yeah. Number 5, we have given to yield at once to such a foe. As a disclaimer, I have never once in my life sung this. So let's see how this one goes. I've even had different music. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
To yield at once to such a foe, where shame arrive. So quick, away with him, although he saved my life. That is fair and strong at all, is very evident to all. Yet I will die, before I call myself his wife. That is fair and strong and tall, is very evident to all. Yet I will die before I call myself his wife. Though I am but a girl, defiance thus I hold. Our banners all on outer wall we fearlessly unfurl. Though I am but a girl, defiance thus I hold. Our banners all on outer wall we fearlessly unfurl. On outer wall we fearlessly unfurl. To yield at once to such a foe is shame arrive. So quick away with him, although he saved my life. That is fair and strong and tall, is very evident to all. Yet I will die before I call myself his wife. Defiance, thus we hold. Defiance, thus I hold. Defiance.
This is from Princess Ida, so I am stunned that this did better than Built Upon a Rock, but actually...
Oh, I'm shocked.
I mean,
this is 5? In my book, this is top 3 any day. On some days, it's number 1.
Yeah.
I love this one.
I guess that the ones I pulled out of finales, I probably won't include in the big master list at the end.
Because you
because
can't
it's not
do
really
the
fair. But I'm only really talking about them for fun now. I mean, in the same way that I brought up Princess Zara. I don't know. Let me know if you think I should do that. We'll see. Because some of the ones like Listen to Me, Dear, I probably shouldn't really count as a duet, really. I mean,
okay, Defiance. Okay, let's...
18 for music, 20 for music.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I should have given it a 20. I don't know.
This is... I don't remember how many 20s I gave, but this gets 20s because it has...
You gave 2 20s.
Okay.
You also gave a 20 to the one that's...
To something
next.
we haven't something on dead. Okay. The reason this is a 20 is, first of all, it's one of the best... metric modulations in the canon, which is when we change from one time signature to another. But they're all da da dum bum 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 into the Defiance.
That is
that blows your socks off.
That's one of your favourite moments from the canon.
It's my favorite moment. Yeah, one of my favorite moments from the canon.
What's the other one?
What's my other favorite metric modulation is in the Grand Duke.
Yes,
and booby.
You booby did you ever meant? You stupid nothing's made of stuff, not worth a pinch of stuff. Pack up at once and off we go. Unless we're anxious to. Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah.
But so this is brilliance. Also, that final defiance when she goes up for the B flat or whatever it is, spine tingling.
I was not ready for that. I did not vocally do this one justice. Just warning you. I mean,
but it's so good.
But and I'm not being modest. I mean, honestly, I've never sung this before, so I this was just me feeling it out.
The other thing is just the groove of this is incredible because so we've been through this whole really great Act 2 finale, and when we launch into this one, it's like you know this is the last thing. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we are going full speed there.
And then like emotional, dramatic, 10s across the board. 10, 10, 10, 10. Yeah. I mean, she's wonderful. I gave her a higher mark for comic potential than needed. I gave it a 6, you gave it a 4. Because I appreciate that you can kind of, what this wasn't a very good example of it, because as I say, I was reading and testing it out, but like, but you could definitely kind of make moments out of the, well, he is fair and strong and tall. No, but I yield, you know, you can definitely do something with that.
I do concede you that a bit, but maybe this also comes from like my particular enjoyment or perspective. At this point, I was like, we are on a train and it is going there, and the energy builds is. Yeah.
Here's the weird one though. You gave lyrics a 9. I gave lyrics a 5. To yield at once to such a foe with shame were rife, so quick away with him, although he saved my life. That he is fair and strong and tall is very evident to all, yet I will die before I call myself his wife. You want us to tell me that those are the most sophisticated lyrics?
Though I am but a girl, defiance thus I'll hurl.
That's not the best poetry. Though I am but a girl, defiance thus I hurl.
Okay, that's the funniest part of it, though. That is a very funny
But
rhyme.
it's not. But the thing is, Sullivan has set it extraordinarily well. But actually, the lyrics basically.
It's no son who's raised, but they're also
a complicated gentleman. Allow me to present of all the arts and faculties a terse embodiment, a great arithmetician who can demonstrate with ease at 2 and 2 and 3 or 5 or anything you please. Like, that is what Gilbert can do, and these are not. And things I'm not saying they have to be, and actually in this situation they work really well. But I'm just saying that if you really diligently look at the lyrics, they're not actually terribly strong. Okay. Just saying.
It's one of those moments like "Ah, Pity Me," where it's okay that they're not.
Oh yeah, no, it's 100% valid. And look, it came number 5.
It's number 5, and I probably really like everything that came above it too. So, all right.
So
we're getting
number
close.
4. Number 4, we have given to "'Tis Done, I Am a Bride."
"'Tis done, I am a bride, O little ring that bearest in thy circlet all the gladness that lovers hope for, and that poets sing. What bringest thou to me but gold and sadness? A bridegroom all unknown, saving this wise. Today he dies. Today, alas, he dies. Though tear and long-drawn sigh ill-fit a bride, no sadder wife than I, the whole world wide, ah me, ah me. Yet bids there be who would consent to lose the very rose of youth, the flower of life, to be in honest truth a wedded wife, no matter whose, no matter whose. Ah me, what profit we, ah maids that sigh, no gold should leave, if wedded love must die. Ere half an hour has rung, a widow I. Ah, heaven, he is too young to brave to die, ah me, ah me. Yet price there be so weary one, I trow that they would scarce complain, so that they could never nor attain to widowhood, no matter how weary wise widowhood would win. Rejoice, rejoice that ye have time to weary in. Oh, weary wise, widowhood would win. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Oh, weary, weary wise, rejoice.
I'm surprised too, but it's your scores that put this one this low.
This is the only one.
This is my number 2. It's only because of you that this one's number 4.
Oh my god! This is the only one that if somebody wanted to fight me about it not being number 1, I would grant that they had a point. What is my problem?
I have no idea what your problem is.
Okay, what? So all right, let's have the numbers.
So we both gave this a 20 for music.
A duh.
In fact, this is the only one that we both gave a 22 for music. We both gave it a 9 for lyrics. It's beautiful, extraordinary poetry. Now, I gave it a 6 for comic potential. Because I think that actually that little recit is actually quite funny. And I think it can be funny. A little ring, that all buried in a nice circle, I can't remember the words, all the gladness that lovers hope for and that poets sing. What bringest thou to me but golden sadness, a bride of all unknown? You know, it's not laugh out loud funny, but it's got, the whole song is kind of ironic. And I think that more people need to think of Elsie as Jack Point's comic partner. She is also using words in a funny, comic, clever way in this song. And yes, you can't tell because the music's in a minor key and it's very powerful and dramatic, but it is actually, it's not a hilarious song, but it is a comic song. It's not as tragic as people think it is, and there are certainly really emotional moments, but I don't think that it's not clear what she's feeling.
I think officially the hottest take of this video is that you just described his and I'm a Bride as a comic song.
It's not as tragic as some of these other songs, I'm sorry.
I think
yes, the only reason we think it's emotional and dramatic is because of the music. But actually, it's not, think of the lyrics. They're actually, it's not all, oh I'm sad, my life is terrible. It's like, wow, people be crazy.
Right, but I don't
that is
know,
what this song is.
And I don't know, and yes, but I don't know if I think of that as comedy.
And yes, of course, it has an emotional effect on her. And I've given it an 8 out of 10 for emotion. You've given it a 10. But I only gave it, and that's where we differed. But then you gave it a 3 for comic potential. So it's you that scored this low.
Because it's not funny.
It's not hilarious, but it's like, and it does have comic potential.
And see, or maybe I just don't want to say that. See, I think, okay, a little ring, what bringest thou to me but sadness, I'm paraphrasing. Yes, that's ironic, but to me, maybe I just don't find that fun. I find that as, a wake-up call, or like the equivalent of having...
no, of course, but it's still... But you know how people use humour to get through dark times? That's what Jack Point does.
Yes.
And why wouldn't Elsie be the same? The thing is, this is what people do. People are like, I've been cast as Elsie Maynard. And then they put weight on everything they do because they know it ends tragically. I'm like, no, play her like Patience. And then it's so powerful at the end, you know? And I'm not saying, of course, there are really dramatic and sad moments in this song. But you've got the whole song to pick those moments. You can find where the gear shift is. For me, it's the second verse. Ere half an hour has gone a widow I. Ah, heaven, he is too young. That's when she realises, oh wait, no, this is applying to me, this is real. And then it gets real for her. But honestly, the recit and the first verse, they're not hilarious, but it's not like sad.
This is so strange because the reason this song, this song is number one or two
That's
is
because that is the reason I love this song.
Oh.
That's the reason it was my number 2. Because I think that this song has a bit of everything in it. But you're the one that disagreed. You're the one that put this low. Just saying.
I'm gonna have to live with this.
Number 3, and I am shocked and aghast that this one came so high.
I literally, I can't take any more
so
shocks.
This is entirely down to you that this one came as high as it did. Entirely. This was like my number 12 or something.
Oh god.
Like when I did a list. I think I actually did improve some of my scores after doing it, and I gave it a 10 for enjoyment, which, boosted it.
I'm not ready for this.
Number 3, which isn't even a real soprano aria, is "O Julia Come, Consider It" from.
Okay.
You forget my special magic in a high dramatic sense lies in search ovations tragic, undeniably intense. As a justified promotion in the history of the god, I'll submit to you my notion of a first-rate part. I have a rival. Frenzy's thrilled. I find you both together. My heart stands still. This horror chilled. Hard as the millstone nether. Then softly, slyly, snaily, snaky, qually, creepy, qually, quacky, I track her on her homeward way as Panther tracks her fated prey. I fly at her soft white throat, the lily-white laughing leman, on her agonized gaze I gloat, with the glee of a dancing demon. My rival she, I have no doubt of her, so I hold on till the breath is out of her, till the breath is out of her. And then, remorse. Oh, cold, unpleasant cause! Avaunt. That lifeless form I gaze upon, that face still warm but weirdly fun, those eyes of glass I contemplate, and then, alas, too late, I find she is your aunt. Then mad, with fancies wild, chimerical, now sorrowful, silent, sad, now hullabaloo, hysterical. But whether I'm sad or whether I'm glad, mad. This cause and our resources of a high-class art, one satisfies my notion of a first-rate part, one satisfies my notion of a first-rate part. So we are just taking Julia's bit out because Ludwig does not have any importance in this song. This is an aria. I know it's not a conventional aria. It's mostly spoken, but this is the list in which it belongs. I would have personally put it a lot lower.
Okay, after the Grand Duke, if you're walking out of the theater, what are you thinking about?
That is true.
Most of you probably are remembering the mad scene.
You gave it an 18 for music.
That is harmonic text painting par excellence.
That is true. I gave it a 15.
Rhythm, harmony, time, string effects. It's brilliant.
Okay, no, great.
It is totally brilliant. You're not going to walk out humming the tune, but musically, that music packs a punch just as good as Poor Wandering One in a very different way.
Lyrics, I gave an 8, you gave a 9. We both love the lyrics of this song.
Okay.
I mean, I actually could have given it higher than an 8. It's extraordinarily well done, the lyrics, and Sullivan's done an excellent job putting them like, it's a completely unique song. There is no other song in a canon even remotely like this one. And I do love that. We both gave it 10s for comic potential, obviously. That's just, we don't even need to talk about that. That's just obvious. Emotional depth. You gave it a 9. I gave it a 5.
Just like every other Julia song, for the same reasons.
I gave it 1 more than a 4, because I do appreciate that we do, in little windows, see who she really is. I mean, you can do that. But, yeah, you gave it a 9, because I don't really see it as real. And then dramatic impact, I gave it a 9, you gave it a 10. Because I do think that there are other more dramatic moments in this show, and I wanted to acknowledge that.
I love it. Did I give it a 10 for enjoyment? Did we all both give it a 10 for enjoyment?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, clearly. This is fun as a listener, as an actor. This is very fun as a conductor, because in terms of driving the boat, there are some things where the boat kind of drives itself and you just kind of set that in motion. That's lovely. But this is also one of those where you really kind of have your foot on the pedal the whole time, and you have to do a good job with it. But it's very satisfying to make all of those things happen together and right, and just kind of shape that trajectory.
And I will say that, honestly, this is a song I enjoyed the most on this list. If I could only give one song a 10, it would be this one. And yeah, maybe that will Paul Wandering one. But
okay.
But I actually gave 5 of them a 10, but this would be top of my enjoyment list.
Okay.
But I feel weird about it coming so high, because I don't really see it as a real song. But I guess, it is. I mean, where else can we include it? Yeah. It's not dialogue.
No.
And it's music, so it goes here,
It's a soprano moment, just
it's a
like
soprano aria. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Okay. That means I know what the top 2 are.
This is good. This is good.
I know what the top 2 are, but I don't know. It's like we're the last 2 for Miss America, and they've called all the other people, and they're like, and the first runner-up for Miss America is, and it's like you don't want to hear your name called, because that means you're the first runner-up.
The thing is, there are 7 points between number 1 and number 2.
Okay. Well.
So, number 1 won by a clear margin.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better.
Like
so
a
it
really
wasn't
clear
just
margin.
it wasn't just me.
No.
Okay.
So, number 2 goes to The Hours Creep On Apace from HMS Pinafore. The Hours Creep On Apace.
The hours creep on apace. My guilty heart is quaking. Oh, that I might retrace the step that I am taking. 'Tis folly, it were easy to be showing what I am giving up, and whither going. On the one hand, Papa's luxurious home, filled with ancestral armor and old brasses, carved oak and tapestry from distant Rome, rare blue and white Venetian finger glasses, rich oriental rugs, luxurious sofa pillows, and everything that isn't old from pillows. And on the other, a dark and dismal room in some back street, with stuffy children crying, where organs yell and clacking housewives spew, and clothes are hanging out all day drying, with one cracked looking glass to see your face in, and dinner served up in a pudding basin. A simple sailor, lowly born, unlettered and unknown, who toils for bread to holy morn, till half the night has flown, till half the night hot, and on his brown right hand his trusty heart and brown right hand. And yet he is so wondrous fair, at love for one so passing rare, so piercing his manly beauty, 'twere little else than solemn duty, 'twere little else than solemn duty. O God of love, and God of reason, say, which of you twain shall my poor heart obey? A simple sailor loyal, unlettered and unknown, no golden rank can he impart, no wealth of house or land, no fortune save his trusty heart, and on his brown right hand his trusty heart and right hand. O God of love and God of reason, say which of you twain shall my poor heart obey? God of love, God of reason, God of reason, God of love, which shall my poor heart obey? O God of love and God of reason, say, O God of love and God of reason, say, which of you twain shall my poor heart obey? My heart obey. Which shall my heart obey?
Okay, this also does belong on the podium.
You gave it a 19 for music, and I gave it a 17. I'm going to kind of go with you on this one because maybe it is actually better musically, but I just feel, could anything from HMS Pinafore be as good as anything in the Grand Duke? You know, like
Shocking,
really?
right?
But
and it wasn't just about the music, but this does music really, really well because you get a little bit of everything. You get really good recit. I think it's one of the best ones, and certainly the soprano gets.
Very funny.
You get
You only gave it a 5 for comic potential. I gave it a 7.
It probably is even funnier than a 5, honestly. Although I think this
is one of these songs that you get everything in this song.
You get
every
you
emotion.
get money notes. You get big, glorious, sweeping tunes.
And just
you get
the points where
you
the
get
music
major, you get
is
minor,
just
you
wonderful.
get you get lots of changes. All this stuff is happening. Oh, yet he is so wondrous fair.
Oh,
Oh,
that bit,
sailor.
yeah.
Oh,
And
this.
yet he is so wondrous fair. And also, I love her. Oh, God of love. That's the wrong key. Oh, God of love. And God of reason say. It's just a sigh again. Oh, God of love. You know, it's exasperation. It's oh God.
So musically,
Tell me,
you get a bit of everything, and I think all those bits
And
are
dramatically.
really good bits. And same thing, yeah, you get to.
I mean,
really
this is
take
another
a
one
journey.
that we got 10, 10, 10, 10 for emotional depth and dramatic impact. There were a few that got that.
So, all right, where did it lose any points at all? Because if number one,
I only gave it a
is
17
points.
for music. I only gave it a
okay.
7 for lyrics because I think the lyrics are. I love the rest, obviously, but I think the actual lyrics of the kind of simple sailor bond, they're kind of simplistic.
He's kind of simplistic.
But then again, the thing is, remember that this would have to get 9 more points to beat the one above it.
Right,
So I could definitely give it 9 for lyrics, and then it wouldn't change its position. Comic potential, I gave it a 7, you gave it a 5.
Okay.
So you don't see it as funny as I do, but I think you probably do agree that it is a bit funnier than
It's
you
a bit
thought.
funny.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give it 5 more points, but I could give it 1 or 2.
Yeah. I think that this is... I actually assumed this would win. This is what I thought was my favourite soprano aria.
I would have probably had "'Tis Done" at number 1. I can only blame myself.
And it's only...
I'd
you have to blame yourself.
I'd probably put this one at either number 2 or number 3. And I would have Defiance up there.
Yeah. I gave this a 10 for In fact, we both gave this a 10 for enjoyment.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So I think, all in all, a very successful number 2.
You know,
That's funny. Right, number 1. We have to be really quick with this because we have to go back to New York. And number 1 we gave to So Ends My Dream from the Grand Duke.
So ends my dream, so fades my vision fair, of hope no gleam, distraction and despair. My cherished dream, the Duke's throne to share, that aim supreme has faded into air. All is darksome, all is dreary, broken every promise blighted, sad and sorry, weak and weary, every newborn hope is blighted. Death the friend, oh, death the foe. Shall I call upon thee? No. I will go on living, though sad and sorry, weak and weary. Death's a friend, oh, death's the foe. Shall I call upon thee? No. I will go on living, so sad and sorry, weary and weak, sad and sorry, weak and weary, sad and sorry, weak and weary. I will go on living, sad and sorry, sad and sorry, sad and sorry, weak and weary. No, 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 no. No, no, let the bygone go by, for no good ever came of repining. If today's the clouds or the skies, and tomorrow the sun may be shining. Tomorrow be kind, tomorrow to me, with loyalty blind, allow me to see. Tomorrow be kind, tomorrow to me, with loyalty blind, I bow me to thee. Today is a day of illusion and sorrow, so viva tomorrow. God save you tomorrow, your servant 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 tomorrow. Your servant tomorrow.
Which got a total of 131 out of 40. 140.
nice.
2019 for music.
Okay.
I mean, like, has faded into air.
Oh, it's one of those high notes that I love.
But that, funnily enough, I find that one way easier than, like,
In Bygone Days.
Than, like, you know, in Sorry Her Lot and in Bygone Days. I find that with the floaty high note, glorious.
Oh.
Lyrics. I only gave this a 7, you gave it a 9. So actually but I love the lyrics, and actually I think I should have given this even more in a way, because that, no, let's a bygone go by for no good if it came up replying. It's funny, and actually the poetry is great. I should have given it more than a 7. I'm being stingy here. Comic potential. And I only gave it an 8 for comic potential.
Oh my God.
What am I doing? You wrote this one higher than I did. You
There's
gave
a
it a
9?
9 for comic potential.
I gave it a 9 because
It's
it's hilarious. It's not the mad scene, but it's hilarious.
But only half of it is funny. I think that's why I only gave it...
True.
I gave it an 8. I think because I appreciate that actually a lot of this is very deep. But then the sudden change is so funny.
Well, would you expect anything less from Julia?
Yeah.
She can turn him off like a
And the
faucet.
thing is, anyone who thinks I built upon a rock, do you really think that's better than this one? This has everything. Everything is across the board. It's excellent. 9 out of 10 for emotional.
This is
depth,
also
10 out
about
of 10.
this is about double the length of I Built on How to Rock.
Yeah.
Also, so
and,
it's just got
and
more.
like we both give it 10 for dramatic impact as well. I mean, honestly, and you gave it. I gave it a 10 for enjoyment. You gave it a 9. So I think that, but I think I should have marked it higher on lyrics, to be honest. This worked out as the very clear winner.
I feel
between the two of us.
I feel good that we had a consensus number
no,
one.
I think this is the correct. I think the number 1 and number 2 are correct.
Okay.
I would say it's one of the most fun. It's one of the most fun times I've had on stage, and I don't enjoy it quite as much as the mad scene, but it's tremendously emotionally cathartic. Making each death for friend mean something a little different. It's such a fun challenge as an actor. It's not easy. You do have to put thought into it, because things like kind of say you kind of have the heart. That just acting is easy in that. But like this, you do have to put thought into it and think, oh, what am I going to do on this bit? How am I gonna, like, what's my thought in this bit? Am I hopeful? Am I just defeated? Like, which bits of this song am I defeated? In which bits am I acting? In which bits am I putting on a brave face? There are just 1,000 things you can do.
Well, and the other thing is, speaking of Death of Friend and all of that, this is, I think, one of only 2 places in the whole canon where the stakes are quite possibly literally life and death, and the other one is Yeomen. This one now, I don't actually, because Julia is all contrived, if it were any other character saying death the friend or death the foe should I call upon thee, then you should probably get worried.
But then this is genuine. And you are seeing, it's a little bit like in The Sun Who's Raised, it's like you are suddenly seeing, oh wait, this character who has been fake the whole time, you are now seeing a little window of reality.
This just got very dark very quickly.
But I think that this song is, without a doubt, my favourite soprano aria. And I actually hadn't realised that. I thought it was Ours Keep on Apace, but now that I've just sung them, once I really sat down and wrote the scores, I think this is the best one. And maybe if I actually played Josephine, I'd think differently, but I've played Julia 3 times now, and this aria is a showstopper. It's hilarious. It's emotional. It's dramatic. It ticks the box in the way that I Built Upon a Rock. Yes, it's beautiful. Yes, it's dramatic. It's tremendously cathartic, but that's all it is. You know, this ticks more boxes than that one. And it's musically, I think, maybe a touch better.
It even gives you a little bit of something catchy to hum on the way out, because the Tomorrow Business is super cute.
So good. So, that's it for us, and we better go.
There's a train to catch.
Please press like and subscribe and do all that, and hopefully I won't miss my train back to New York and miss my rehearsal and have William Rimmers kill me.